nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. But let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. Your eyes, they sparkle with every click. Sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, happy Independence Day for those of you here in the States and, well, any allied-minded people too. Tonight, we're wrapping up our retrospective of the films of 1985. It's amazing how many great films there were in this year. There were also some not-so-great ones either, let's be honest. Let's get into it. Settle in, top off your glasses, tell me what you're sipping on in the chat, and we'll roll this Canarble Wagon right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
La salute and welcome. Happy Friday, happy Independence Day. What am I sipping on? Well, I'm sipping on the same thing that I was sipping on this afternoon for liquid lunch. It is the drink that our country was founded on. What is that, you might ask?
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken! The Kraken!
Why is the rum always gone?
Because we couldn't get enough molasses. That's why the rum was gone. No. But that is what I am sipping on right now. I hope you are all doing well and imbibing and enjoying the festivities responsibly. Let me get my favorite people in here. Starting with Miss America herself, Netter of Netter's Network. How you doing, my dear? What are you sipping on?
That's Captain America to you.
Ms. Captain America to me, yes.
I'm doing well. I'm actually about to be broken, but I am drinking a Polar Premium Seltzer Water Black Cherry. It's naturally calorie-free. And I'll be opening up another one shortly. I might be a rebel and go with an A&W root beer.
There you go. Before you do that, why don't you give my Kraken rum a try? Tell me what you think.
It's not bad.
Right?
It kind of reminds me of, what's that other stuff I drink that's in the back there? Oh, shoot. I can't think of the name of it. I told you it tastes like Formula 44 cough syrup.
Don't know, but it sounds good to me.
I can't think of what's called. Now I gotta go look.
Okay, go see what you're talking about. But yeah, it gives it.
Jägermeister. It tastes like.
Oh, Jägermeister. Oh, yeah. Because there's a little bit of that. I don't know, that sharp anisette type of flavor to it.
Jägermeister tastes a little like root beer.
There you go. And Agent Boomer, who we're going to need to be our designated driver tonight because I intend to really lay it on thick with the Kraken tonight. How are you doing and what are you sipping on?
I have a Coca-Cola Classic.
Let me tell you something. Well, Coca-Cola Classic, you kind of can't go wrong. You have had me thinking about. I was this close to having a Bloody Mary tonight because you mentioned that earlier in the week. Maybe next week. I think probably almost certainly next week I'll be having a Bloody Mary.
Oh, we bought celery.
Yeah, well, hopefully the celery will keep. Otherwise, we'll have to make a salad and buy some more.
Did you have a Bloody Mary on our Urban Legend stream? We could talk about the Urban Legend Bloody Mary.
If I didn't, I should have. That was a missed opportunity. That's an excellent point.
Anyway, but no, I was watching a little bit of a documentary earlier about Whitley Strieber and his encounter with alien abductions.
Wow, there you go.
You have to wonder,
how much he had to drink.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Welcome to the chat. JPRPH1. He's over on Netter's channel because he is a member there, dropping Netter's Smolder, the Netter's Network symbol, the smile, and the retro cinema symbol. Ruby Hoove came to say happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to you as well, Ruby. I hope you and all of yours there are doing very well. As well as Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube. Hail to you as well. I hope all of yours are doing as well also. Oh, and Ruby has dropped a $5 super chat to say happy 4th of July. Also, your 40th anniversary. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary to you and Mr. Hoove. So
Yay.
So glad for you both. 40 years. That's what Netter and I are getting there. We're going to be 34 next month.
Yeah.
Next month. Almost exactly 1 month. I better order those flowers. Films with Friends rates. Thank you so much, Big L. Yeah, I preceded you because I had to get over here and get the presentation set up because I was tardy in that. Netter, who is sitting across from me and said hi already, is saying hello to the love of my life, and she did it twice because she did it on multiple
I did it on mine and on yours because I do that. Oh, and by the way, I want to thank, although I don't see him in the chat yet, I want to thank Nate for my avatar.
Absolutely. I was going to mention that. Absolutely. Mark Daly says, greetings from Lima, Ohio, and happy 4th. Making the long drive on I-75 from Tally, Florida to mid-Michigan. That's a bit of a drive. That is a bit of a drive. I've done that myself. I have done that myself very recently, in fact. There's that Boomer guy. Welcome. Jedi Master 2022's Lost in Space and Classic Sci-Fi. That sounds like a really great channel, right? You guys should definitely check that out.
I like that show.
Yep, there you go. Deleted Scenes comes over to say salute to all of us. Thank you so much. ussarn G saying hi to everybody in the chat. Films with Friends raid. Yep, absolutely. We just watched 1776 again. Great film. Great film,
that
full of some really good history. An idea occurred to me somewhere in the backwoods of Tennessee. Electric cars need their own race league. Cinema, they can't compete in NASCAR. Okay, that's fair. That is fair. I know very little about these electric cars.
Disney should buy out NASCAR. I think Disney should buy NASCAR.
Disney doesn't have the money to buy
just mess it
buy
up
a
like
Clue.
they do everything else. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We can call it the National Association of Tree Huggers Car Racing. That would be NASCAR. I like that. Maybe it's because I'm well into my Kraken here, but that one. Oh, that's right. Big Al sees that we're going to be talking about Legend tonight because he loves it.
I don't know. Did I skip that one? We'll see.
No. It's in there. I know because I looked at it before I put the thumbnail together. And Coach Lope, July 4th, Tak Nan Pu. Greetings from the depths of Urapente. Have a glorious stream. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Yeah, that's a Klingon for you. In fact, those of you that follow me on my various MeWe platforms, I have a MeWe group dedicated specifically to Kartan, the Klingon cleric, and I posted there an AI-generated piece of art from the Klingons in Israel that created a Klingon version of Uncle Sam. It's really cool. It's really cool. Check that out if you get a chance. Good evening, Sir Torrin Clegane. It was great hanging out. I'm sorry I couldn't stick around and say proper goodbyes, but thank you so much for hanging out with us on 1776 over there on Big Al's channel. That was indeed a lot of fun. Andrea Black, welcome. Am I just too drunk to remember the name? I don't remember that one, but that doesn't matter. I am very encouraged to see you here, Andrea. I hope you enjoy what we have to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I think she's been on my channel before, popped into the chat, so welcome again. Appreciate you being here.
I'm glad you're here, Andrea. I really, really am. My contribution to the beer, burgers, and fireworks for America's birthday party. Thank you, Mark Daly. It's a $5 super chat from Mark Daly. Let's see. Darth Plato. Netter's pick is American Dream. Yes, absolutely. Okay, she's my American Dream, let me tell you. Sorry I missed Liquid Lunch. Would have been more fun to say greetings from Kentucky, the home of the fast horses and beautiful women. Or is it the other way around? Fast women and beautiful horses. Maybe both. That's perfectly okay. You could always catch up on the Liquid Lunch later on. I was talking about the liquid birth of our nation and how our founding fathers started their rabble rousing by meeting up in bars and pubs over drinks, kind of like we do. I came here for the boomer groans.
What?
Yeah.
I just did one when he said that. Anyway.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No, there'll be plenty of
boomer.
boomer.
Give the people what they want. The real Independence Day, not the phony Juneteenth. Yeah, exactly. I was just saying over on the other stream, people don't realize this, but Juneteenth was when the evil white people got rid of all their slaves. The nice, benevolent, and peaceful Native Americans kept their slaves for another year. That's true. That is true.
I didn't realize that.
That is absolutely true. Speaking of milestones, my dad turned 84 on the 2nd, and I'll be 56 on Thursday the 8th. Well, happy birthday to both you and your father, Mark Daly. That is a wonderful thing. Every year that goes by, that's if you want to look at it, from a dark perspective, that's 1 year closer to the grave. But The other way of looking at it is that's one more year that you've been hanging out with us, and we are thankful for it. Geek Flag with Nate Knows is here, and so he probably did hear you saying that we appreciate the icon that you created for her. Just got home. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you as well, my friend. Troy, you been to Michigan? Why? No. Michigan is about the same latitude as Chicago, and I made the drive from Florida. I drove down to Florida and back again back in March. So I'm saying I've made a comparable drive. A comparable drive is what we'll say. Have we been to Michigan?
I think we've driven through there to get to
I remember we drove to Indianapolis for the whatever that con is, the D&D con. We've been to Ohio, obviously, for family.
If we went through any part of Michigan, it was like at a bottom end to get, through there to get to a different state.
I don't remember. I've been wanting to get to Michigan. I got a friend that lives there and just haven't visited him for
Your invisible friend Otto?
My invisible friend Otto, yes, exactly. Let's see, what else we got here? Guys all saying hi to each other, which, of course, I appreciate. Suzanne, good to see you. If I didn't say hi to you earlier, I think you were here for Liquid Lunch. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Happy 4th of July. Hey, everyone. Welcome, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Tim Hayes, haven't seen you in a while. I was just thinking about you. Well, I pretty much think about you every day because you are the last name on my list of patrons. And so every time I update my list, which is literally every day, I see your name. So I was thinking about you today. Let's see here. I like this. He goes through the whole list of everybody here he's saying hi to. You guys are awesome. You really are. You guys really, really are encouraging. I'm all for celebrating Juneteenth. Some people need to be reminded slavery ended 160 years ago. Yes. Before your parents were born. Probably before your grandparents were born. Not necessarily, but probably. I've mentioned that for 20 years. A separate treaty had to wrought to the end slavery in the unincorporated regions of Indian territories. Oh, yeah. See, yeah, I forgot. You're a history teacher, right? Darth Plato or something like that. Something like that. Let's see here. That makes sense.
Yep, there's that.
Or I didn't have family in Michigan. I'd never go back. Fair enough. Yeah, I've got a buddy who is originally from Michigan. I think he was from Flint, Michigan, in fact. And he's got family there, and he's like, God, it's a hellhole. It's a real hellhole. Yeah, we could do a whole stream about what happened in Michigan and the unions and all that stuff. Isn't Juneteenth about the destruction of Black Wall Street and in Tulsa, Oklahoma? It's the end of slavery. It was the last state freed all of their slaves on June something-teenth, I forget.
19th, I assume.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. You know, you come up with these stupid names for things, which literally obscure the history you're supposed to be trying to remember. You know, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world, you know?
All I know is I didn't get it all from work.
Yeah, don't you feel like a slave?
Okay, anyway, it's a happy day, 4th of July. Granted, we're not 4th of July.
Oh, Suzanne, that is so sweet of you. She's making the rounds to hit the like buttons. You are sweet. You guys don't feel that you have to do that, but that is a very, very nice thing to do. It is a great way to boost our algorithms, you know. Julian McMahon just died at 56. Can you play Doc? Really? Wow. Okay, so yeah, he was the bloke from Nip Tuck. He was also one of the demons in Charmed, and he played Doctor Doom in the relatively good Fantastic Four movies. Man, I did not know about that. Okay, we're gonna have to. Did you send that one to us on X? Because we got to make sure we add that one to the in memoriam for Sunday. That's 56.
What is it? I'll look for
it. Julian McMahon.
Okay.
ussarn. It's a historical event in Texas that ended slavery there. It's not supposed to be the national event. It only applies to Texas. But Darth Plato, wasn't Texas the last holdout? Wasn't it the last state to abolish slavery or to free the slaves or whatever it was?
Holy cow, he passed. I'm sorry, I'm shocked by that.
Does it say anything about
cancer?
Oh,
he had a private battle with cancer.
That's too bad. No, I liked him. He's a good actor. I loved him on Nip Tuck. We'll mention him on Sunday. Yeah, I'll send you the link. Okay. Yeah.
It's the anniversary of the signing of their Emancipation Proclamation, which freed some, not all, slaves. My 160-year figure is counting from Appomattox. Gotcha. Julian McMahon, Michael Madsen, the guy that played Admiral Piet, I believe it was, and a couple names. We've got them. They've been sending them to us, and we've been. Well, I got to double check and make sure I've gotten them all to you, but I got to get the notes together tomorrow for you.
Yeah, that's a shame. It really is.
I sent you and Boomer a link. Okay. I've been kind of busy today, so
that's fine. That's fine. We'll get to them. Thank you, though. Yeah, thank you.
Texas was the last state in rebellion. Gotcha. Yeah. So that sounds about right. Anyway, Piet. Yeah, autocorrect. I knew what you meant. So yeah, let's get into this now. I know it's been 3 freaking weeks on 1985, but this kind of tells you there was a time when there was a whole lot more movies coming out each year than there are now.
Well, to be fair, though, I sometimes wonder if more movies come out than we're actually aware of. Because keep in mind, not everything comes to your local multiplex, right? Though I'll admit, probably in the 80s it did. Yeah, so maybe that's different. Yeah.
And yeah, it has to do with distribution and whatnot. But now we have a lot more things that hell never even make it to the cinema. They're going straight to streaming for whatever reason. Can you imagine that? I actually it was this guy here, but we'll all take any blessings you are offering.
But, so this is really part two of part 2, really part 3. But anyway, let's move on. 1985 in movies. And I'm going to actually start with something that should have been on part 2 last week, which was Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've not seen this movie. Linda Florentino is in it. Is that correct?
Dude, Linda Florentino. That's probably the original reason I saw it.
Is Anthony Edwards in this?
No, you're thinking of you're thinking of what was it? We just watched this movie and we talked about it last week. It was Vision Quest. Vision Quest is the one you're thinking of. Okay. But it was the same year.
So why is this movie so cool? Is this young American goes to Europe and gets seduced by a woman? Is she like a Russian spy or something? What's going on here? Okay.
You know what? What I want to see is give me a second because I can't remember who the I remember Linda Fiorentino. I don't remember the actor who played John. Oh, you know who it was? It was Anthony Edwards.
Oh, the guy from ER. Yeah, I think I heard of this. I've heard of this. I've not seen it. Okay, that's right.
Right. So the official synopsis is an 18-year-old college student travels to Paris with a friend on vacation. There he meets Sasha, a young Eastern European woman who seduces him into following her to East Germany, where he slowly discovers the truth about her occupation. Yeah, it's one of those movies that in a way, I could almost draw a comparison to The Freshman, which we just recently watched on Netter's channel. This idea of a young man, young adult man, who gets drawn into things that are way above his head. It's a little bit comical. It's way over the top. There's this great bit where he ends up running around the campus with a dart gun. He's being chased by spies. He shoots a girl in the butt. Man,
Is it like Mission Impossible or something? What is this?
Not quite that serious. It has those kinds of undertones to it in the action element of it, but it's let's just say I don't want to call it a farce, but it is slightly farcical. You're not supposed to take it too seriously, even though it's not a full-on over-the-top comedy.
Okay.
And let's face it, Linda Fiorentino. We'll just look at that cover. Come on.
Big Al says I saw Gotcha in theater when it came out because of Linda Fiorentino. Okay.
Who was it who sang the theme song? Gotcha, gotcha where I want you. It's too late to turn back now. Gotcha.
And demonetized.
And demonetized, yeah. Well, no, I doubt it. Well, yeah, they could get me for the melody. That's true. Now they're hitting us for melodies. Literally, did I mention that to you guys? When I had Stark of Iron on, he did some of his parody songs, completely changing the words. He is playing the music himself. Boom. I got hit because of the melody.
Boo.
I'm like, holy crap, YouTube. You are just ridiculous.
All right, so worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not streaming anywhere for free or with subscription, but you can get the Blu-ray for half off on Amazon apparently at the moment.
I'll tell you what. It's one that if I were you, I would consider grabbing the Blu-ray because you just might love it. I do want to say real quick. Oh yeah, Tim is comparing it to Tag, the assassination game. Yes, you're absolutely right. That one was about a bunch of kids on a college campus running around playing. It wasn't laser tag; they were using like paintball or something like that, and it kind of gets a little bit more intense, and people actually end up dying and stuff.
Interesting.
The assassination game was really popular in the 80s. Yeah.
I need to find out the name of that.
There we go. It was by British singer Teresa Bazar. I did not know that. I would not have. I remember the song because of the movie, but I would not have known the artist.
I really need to introduce you someday to the Zero Boys, which is a 80s kind of slasher movie about paintball enthusiasts. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. But that's 1986, not 1985, so we're not doing it tonight.
Right.
Maybe next year.
Salute to Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Make sure you are subscribed to his channel. And check out his Rumble channel where he will be doing a watch party tomorrow afternoon. You should definitely check that out. Tag was good too. Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, the assassination game.
Yep. Robert's Infinite Realms, who hung out with us at Liquid Lunch today, says, hello, people of the Party Persuasion. Happy birthday, USA. Leave milk out for Kurt Angel. There you go. And Lady Mist, thank you so much for being here. You are wonderful.
What's the official 4th of July dessert? Is it cherry pie?
I don't know, but it should be. Maybe it's those red, white, and blue popsicles, right?
Maybe. I've had those. What do they call those? Oh, I forgot. Never mind.
Rocket, something.
Rocket or blast off, something like that. Yeah. All right. Rocket Pops. I mean, that's what they're called.
That sounds right. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Smooth Talk. Treat Williams, Laura Dern.
Okay, first I want to say I love the fact that you pulled a newspaper ad Like
Sometimes that's the best poster I can find. Okay.
Right, well, and you know what? In this case, I mean, it's because this is how, and people forget this. This is how you would decide. If you were going out with friends, you wanted to go to the movies, what would you do? You'd grab the newspaper, you'd open it up to the movie section, and you see a bunch of ads like this, and you would see where it's playing and what time, right there on a picture just like that. That's how you did it. This was before the internet, where instead of looking, you would look at what movie theaters you wanted to go to, and then you'd see what was playing there. That's what you would do. Whereas nowadays, you go, okay, I want to see this movie. Where is it playing? You know?
This is on my to-watch list. I've still not seen it. I even got my sister the Blu-ray because Criterion put out a Blu-ray of this. I probably should have just picked it up for myself also, but it's based on a short story by Joyce Carol Oates, or at least I think part of the movie is, and I'm very curious because I think it goes beyond the short story because it's actually a rather terrifying short story. The short story was called "Where Are You Going? Where Have You Been?" If you're in like creative writing classes or whatnot, you may end up seeing this, reading that story. But I've always been curious about the movie adaptation. Which
No, it's not Holdo. It's Diane. But yes, you're right.
Laura Dern, I feel bad for Laura Dern now gets tagged with Holdo all the time now. Laura Dern was in many movies.
She chose the role.
But a lot of people, so did Oscar Isaac, but we're not attacking him. Okay, I'm just saying.
Because he's actually done some other good movies since then. Well, what has she done since she... I'm
sure she's done something.
Admiral Purple-haired, you know?
Since then. Anyway, but this is Smooth Talk. Did you ever see this?
I did not. I've never heard of it before I saw this. And I love Treat Williams. I thought I had seen just about every movie he'd been in. There was a time when I really did like Laura Dern too, but...
oh, she's fine. Because of Star Wars, I'm not going to hold that against her. A lot of good actors were in those stories.
There's also some things she said behind the scenes, but I'm trying so hard not to listen to what celebrities say off screen. It's really, really difficult.
Anyway, though, I heard Treat Williams plays a rather terrifying character in this, so I'm very curious about it. So yeah, but that's Smooth Talk, and I guess that's all the time we're going to spend on this. Troy?
When I was a kid, 4th of July was barbecue, sliced watermelon, apple pie, and all the fireworks 7-year-old me was allowed to play with. Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, I had well, I still have an uncle, but he doesn't do this anymore, obviously. He lived in Ohio, so he used to drive through Indiana, pick up all the illegal fireworks, bring them to us, and set them off for the 4th of July. It was a lot of fun. And he would always, and he also was in charge of doing fireworks displays in Mansfield, Ohio, back in the day. So he got all the professional stuff, all that stuff that shot into the air, and starbursts and stuff like that. Now, obviously, he couldn't get away with setting those off in Broadview or Brookfield here in Illinois, but he had some pretty wild ones. He had access to all the good stuff, is what I'm basically saying.
Have you ever been to South of the Border, which is a roadside attraction in South Carolina?
No, because I've never been to South Carolina.
Gene Shepard, the author of A Christmas Story, among other things, he did this one special where he was driving around America. We have to stop at South of the Border. And I saw it on the special, and we also stopped there on a family trip while we were traveling through South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
It's a wonderful place to pick up fireworks at, because I think it's got I don't know if it's got a lot of Mexican imports there or what's going on here, but it was a place you could get a nice array of fireworks. Yeah, Fort Pedro fireworks.
I want to tell everybody that loves fireworks, that is enjoying them this year, say a little prayer for all the people that make them, because although, yes, in theory it's dangerous, but that's not really the big concern. It's very messy work, and they do suffer. That black powder gets airborne, and it gets into their eyes. It becomes, just like onions, becomes acid in your eyes, and it burns for days. And so there are people suffering to pack and make those fireworks for you.
Hopefully they buy them some goggles.
Well, it doesn't help. There's no way to truly, because it's airborne. It's airborne, so you really can't. It's rough, but you know, God bless everybody that works with black powder, because otherwise, you know, I wouldn't be able to get my ammunition.
Oh, Darth Plato says the 4th of July dessert is strawberry shortcake. You know, that's not a bad one.
Strawberry shortcake.
That is a summertime dessert. Yeah. But let's move on to After Hours. Now, again, it's another Blu-ray I got from my sister one year. I keep buying her these nice Criterions, which I don't know if you ever watched, but this is a Martin Scorsese, I want to say, like, dark comedy. Is that right?
I saw this movie. I friggin' do not remember it.
It's about a guy that goes on a blind date, meets up with Patricia Arquette, and everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
That sounds about right. Ordinary word processor Paul Hackett experiences the worst night of his life after he agrees to visit Mercy, a Soho resident that he met that evening at a coffee shop. Rosanna Arquette, not Patricia Arquette. Okay. Did I say Patricia?
I said Patricia because we'd watched Lost Highway. Sorry.
And you know who else is in this movie?
Catherine O'Hara is in it. It's got a big cast. It's got a huge
Linda
cast.
Fiorentino is also in this movie.
No, it has a lot of people are in it. It's like
Linda Fiorentino was 1985 was the year I fell in love with Linda Fiorentino. Just saying.
I've heard good things about.
That is why I saw this movie. By the way, don't remember anything about it.
Did you
but
enjoy
I remember
it?
Linda Fiorentino.
Did you enjoy it?
I must have done. I didn't hate it.
I need to watch it. This should be
Dick
next
Miller also. Remember him from Gremlins? He was the one that served in WWII.
Yes, funny. But never heard of any of these movies, Darth Plato. Well, we're in the fall now. Now we're in September of '85 after the summer
let's
season.
Be honest, this was the hard season for movies. You know, historically, anything from March on was good for movies. You know, that's when you'd want to go out and go to the movies. Now we're getting into fall, going into winter, so a lot of people weren't. And kids were going back to school, so it was a little bit more difficult.
Well, we do end with the holiday movies. But I did want to bring up, though, that this is not no small movie, though. It's Martin Scorsese, and he's doing a comedy, which he doesn't typically do. I need to watch it. A lot of these smaller 80s movies, well, not as high budget as some of the blockbusters, still felt bigger in scope than what you'd see on TV. So, yeah. Chuck Norris, Invasion USA.
Was this a canon film? Did we talk about this during the canon thing?
Do you know what the plot of this is?
Macho Man shoot guns.
Oh, for the love of Mike. Okay, the Soviet Union.
Here's the thing, though. I know I saw this movie. That doesn't mean I remember any details.
Decides to do a call out to all of America's enemies all around the world, whether they be like South American drug lords or Chinese communists or Middle Eastern terrorists. Let's all just join up and invade Florida at Christmas time. And they even start doing things like they dress up as cops and shoot like local Latinos, so they think the cops are after them, so they try to start a war between them and the cops. They blow up a neighborhood of houses. Like, he literally takes a bazooka out and is blowing up houses on Christmas Eve, okay, in a suburban area. They're just blowing it up. And finally, it has to be Chuck Norris that takes them out.
Once Chuck Norris comes in, the bad guys should just give up. They're screwed. Writer Albert Lanier, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Welcome. So good to see you. Says Scorsese After Hours is a terrific movie overlooked amongst his work. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it's been so long. I saw it once back in '85, and I don't really remember it.
It's one I need to watch.
Yeah, we'll have to get around to watching that one again.
Richard Lynch is the main villain in this movie.
One does not simply walk into Mordor. Unless you're Chuck Norris. Then you can go wherever you want to go.
No, man, it's like
107 minutes of creamy canon goodness.
It's so bad.
If Chuck Norris was in 300 movies, it would be named one.
No, it's
There you go.
like, well, part of me thought that part of me thinks too in this movie, like did these invaders think out the fact that we have a National Guard? You know, that was gonna come after them right away.
And you know what I'm also wanting to do now is, writer Albert Lanier is on one of your channels. Boomer,
Oh.
could you real quick grab his link and drop it into the chat so that we
I can do that.
all subscribe?
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can do that over on his channel, can't you?
Okay.
Duh.
And
Yeah,
so that
all
we
three
can
tabs open,
subscribe
so-
to his channel, because it sounds
Do that.
like he might have a good YouTube channel to check out.
Yeah, drop the link. Yeah, if you feel like dropping the link there, you may. Unless
Yep,
not,
I'll
I can
get
do
it.
it. Okay.
YouTube
All right.
channel.
Invasion USA is a great bad film. You know what? You
It
can
is.
probably say that about most Cannon films. I agree with you. Cannon made a lot of films that I liked, even though they were bad films. I don't, you know.
This is one of the better Chuck Norris ones, though, because you just
Yeah.
get to see him go to town on these, just at Christmas time, no less.
We have a National Guard. His name is Chuck Norris.
Basically, yes, it's him just lighting up these terrorists invading the United States, but it's really this it's all headlined by the Soviet Union. I often wondered
Because 1985, they were the bad guys, right?
There we go. I dropped it on all three channels.
Thank you so
well,
much.
but it's not just them. It's every potential enemy group that the U.S. faces. Like they're in this group that's invading. Like it's like a joint task force between like South American drug lords. So
guys, really make sure you do subscribe to writer Albert Lanier. It looks like he's got some really good stuff here. I'm gonna have to check this out.
I'll check out your essay after I watch the movie. I really do want to. I do want to watch After Hours. But moving on to The Journey of Natty Gann, another Disney movie.
I remember
that
this
came
was
out.
a big deal. I remember a lot of ads about it.
I saw it a few times. It was
I
on Disney Channel.
honestly don't know if I saw it or not. I don't think I did.
It's a little. I remember. I have not seen it for years, but I used to watch it a few times, and it was kind of a little bit heartbreaking at times because I think it takes place during the Depression. I think Natty Gann gets separated from her dad, and she's trying to find him all throughout the country during the Depression. I think she defends this wolfhound during this, but it's like a YA type novel, and
yeah, it's
so sad because you get to the end of the movie and you think she's missed her dad, she's not going to find him, and then suddenly he turns around and it's her, and they meet each other again.
Oh, that's
it's a heartbreaking kind of thing, and they do finally get together at the end. But I liked her because she's sort of a tomboy in the 1930s. She has like the like the cap that all the boys are. Or maybe she was pretending to be a boy. That could have been what it was. Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me, Deleuze. Meredith Salinger. Too bad she married Patton Oswalt. Somebody married Patton Oswalt? Anybody married Patton?
She was too good for him, I think. I'm currently thunderstruck that Tubi's showing Steven Seagal movies that had a budget. Yes, Tubi.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Tubi. Everything's on Tubi.
I've watched a lot of movies on Tubi.
Wonderful cast. Haven't seen it in years. I've been meaning to watch it again. It was one of these Disney movies, kind of like Return to Oz and Black Cauldron that year, that kind of came and went. But that's why I saw it a lot on the Disney Channel. But
yeah,
that was something Disney should have done more of, these like live action versions of these children's novels that had stories like this. Yeah,
and that is really the approach to take, right? It's what Disney always used to do. They take fairy tales, they take kid stories and whatnot, and just do something with them. And it was like a shotgun blast. It's like something's gonna strike, right? Not all of it's gonna strike, but something's gonna strike. All
right, cool. All right. Salinger was cute in the 80s. I know I've seen her in other things too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she looks a lot like what's
Bateman.
her name?
Justine
Bateman. Oh my God, that's exactly what you.
They have a similar look. Yeah, they have a. Similar
By the way, I'm a huge fan of Justine Bateman. I always liked her, But I'd say in the past 2 to 3 years, I've become a huge fan of hers.
Gotcha.
Follow her on X. She is a sharp cookie.
Yep, and writer Albert Lanier, it looks like we've got you at least 6 more subs, so awesome.
Yeah, good. Let's build that channel more.
And I dropped a message in the chat. I do a show on Thursdays called Thursday Things. I'm always looking for guests.
She does.
DM
Absolutely.
me on Twitter. I put my DM handle or my Twitter handle in the chat message, so you may have to follow me before you can message me, but then you can unfollow me because I don't care about that sort of thing on X.
All right. What was it? Yeah, I remember this being said. I didn't watch it after the first. It has a happy ending. It's sad, almost like she has all these trials. She does befriend a dog or a wolfhound or whatever.
I've told you all the Pretty Woman.
It has a
story,
happy
right?
ending. That's all I'll say.
Boomer, I've told you the Pretty Woman story, right?
What Pretty Woman story?
I think I'm guessing about half the people in the chat have not heard this story. So I was in high school at the time that Pretty Woman came out, and I had literally just broken up with my girlfriend. And my buddies said, come on, we're going out to the movies. We're going to go hang out. There's a bunch of friends. Get your mind off of things, right? We went to see Pretty Woman. I don't know why we were seeing Pretty Woman. I think we got to the theater. It was the only thing that was playing, at the time that we could really take in a movie. I'm like, okay. Went and watched Pretty Woman. This is a good enough movie, right? But here's the thing. They were paying. They were trying. They were the bros trying to take care of me, right? So they got me the big popcorn. They got me the big soda. And I was about 2/3 of the way through the movie, and I'm like, I gotta pee. And I held it as long as I could. And I eventually got to the point where I'm not going to make it to the end. I've got to go. I've got to go right now. And I got up and I ran out of the theater. I wasn't even paying attention to the movie at this point anymore. I had no idea what was going on. Well, I guess I left at like that point in the movie where everything looks the bleakest and, things are sad and, whatever. I had no idea. My brain was just, I gotta pee. I jumped up and ran out. I got to the bathroom. I felt like I was going to be sick. That's how bad it was. I stood in front of that urinal for like 3.5 minutes going because it was so bad. Then I get back to the theater and I'm like, the movie's almost over. I don't want to go and I'll just wait back here. Well, the guys come out and they're like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I had to pee so bad. And they're like, oh, we thought you were like upset or something. And I'm like, upset about what? Well, you just broke up with your girlfriend and then the movie's getting all. I'm like, I had no idea what was going on in the movies. I had to pee so bad. They're like, oh, okay, let's go.
Oh, that's funny.
It was so now, and I told Netter this story. So now, when I really have to go, she's like, how bad is it? Is it Pretty Woman bad? I'm like, no, it's not quite Pretty Woman bad, but it's getting there. Okay, there you go.
I didn't run into an experience like that in a theater at a hockey game once. I had to run to the bathroom. But yeah. Welcome, Outlaw Bill. Happy 4th of July to you as well.
Yeah, welcome to you. Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you.
I'm going to go to the next movie.
Go for it. Ramen noodles and drinking some 1812 bourbon. That's good stuff.
That's some good stuff.
It's just my wife, and kids are out of town for a few days. You are not alone, my friend. You are here with us. One of us.
And I wanted to mention that Netter was having an A&W. A&W is made with aged vanilla. Did you know that?
A&W root beer's got that frosty mug taste.
Yes. Commando! Who says big movies don't come out in the fall?
That was a great movie. I remember loving
Arnold
that movie.
Schwartz, Braunschweiger.
This was Arnold Schwarzenegger transitioning from the villain of Terminator to the hero character. The action hero.
This movie is like there's so many lines in this. I almost feel like the lines now have been overplayed, but I like you, Donnie, I'm gonna kill you last. Remember when you said you'd kill me last? I lied.
I lied.
He throws him. And that was played by that guy. He was on Twin Peaks, actually. He was the guy, the brother of what's his name? But it was Mr. Horn. Yeah, he always played like the sleazeballs in movies, and Arnold just throws him over. It's so bad. Who else was in this? Ray Dawn Sean was in this as the stewardess, right? And I love her in this when she says, "You kidnapped me. Men are shooting at me. Are you going to tell me what's going on?" And he says, "No, no." And that's how he freaks out because
Mark Daly says, "I rented this one time just to count the bodies. 85. Well, now we know. 80. The body count on this one is 85.
He massacres what's the plot? The plot is a former South American dictator of some unnamed country. He got deposed by a democratic election, and because I guess the U.S. didn't want him in there, and now he wants to be put back in, and you're going to assassinate the current president of my country, or we're going to kill your daughter. And there's a wonderful scene right now when the guys like invade his mountain house, and hey, we have your daughter. You have to cooperate, right? And then Arnold says, "Wrong!" And then he shoots the guy in the head. It's so bad. And what's his name is in this? The guy who plays the villain. Hold on. I'll get his name for you because he's
Albert
known.
Lanier says, "I write a newsletter for Substack where I review forgotten, little-known, barely remembered movies. In the past, I think I may have done a review on... I may review Natty Gann in the future." There you go. Yeah. There's a theory that the guy, this is Mark Daly says, there's a theory that the guy Arnie plays in Commando is the same guy as Predator. Actually, I have heard not only that, but that Predator is in continuity with Terminator, and it is that same character that is the template for the T-100, T-1000, whatever it is, the model that Arnold is.
But Vernon Wells was in this as the villain.
Yes, he
Captain
was.
Simon Bennett, his old arch enemy.
Don't wait, my friend. He's dead tired.
It's had a great cast. James Olsen was in this. A young Alyssa Milano was in this movie. Remember, she's his daughter in this. It's just it's an incredible 80s action movie. It's just wall-to-wall violence.
Welcome, E. Clay Thomason. Good to see you.
Do you want to see Arnold single-handedly take on a band like 24 mall security guards at once? It's like
big dumb action movie. Yeah. Don't take it too seriously. It's just fun.
Like there were the smart Arnold movies and the dumb ones. I used to categorize this in the dumb ones, but then when I was watching the behind-the-scenes stuff, they were intending this to sort of be a spoof of action movies. There's a lot of like humor in there that's completely ridiculous. But no, it's good. I it's just. Bill Paxton has a cameo in this movie. It's ridiculous.
An unknown fact about Commando: in the opening, when Schwarzenegger is walking carrying the tree that is a real tree, they had to find one that he could carry. The director didn't want a fake one. There you go. Mark Daly says
carrying a tree. Yes.
Mark Daly says, yes, Alyssa Milano, before Who's the Boss, let alone Charmed, let alone, what was it, Kiss of the Vampire?
Yes, I'm aware of that movie.
That's the only movie of Alyssa Milano's worth watching. Just saying.
What about Poison Ivy?
No, that one's creepy. That one's creepy.
Any
carry-on luggage? Just him.
That was funny. He says, and then he breaks the guy's neck, and he says, "Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired."
He's dead tired.
He's sleeping. And then, of course, he cuts open the back of the plane and jumps out of it as in flight and falls into a swamp.
Yeah,
it's completely implausible. It's one of the great 80s action movies. I recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and you get to see Arnold hang out in a woodshed and hack up a bunch of people. It's almost like it's funny. Some director made a point that, you know, people yell at horror movies thinking they're awful, and I say, why? Horror movies, you care about the victims. Action movies, you don't care about the victims. And he's right. This
That's
is like
true.
to the bad guys. He's like a Jason Voorhees, basically.
Yeah. Exactly right. Embrace of the Vampire. Thank you.
Embrace of the Vampire.
I'm familiar with it. I'll stop.
What the heck is this one? Sweet Dreams.
Yes, Jessica Lange. That's the only reason I saw it, because I like Jessica Lange.
Yes. Who else was in the Sweet Dreams? Let's see here. 1985 film based on the life of Patsy Cline. That's why I put it in here. Ed Harris is in it. Yeah, I especially like Jessica Lange in that King Kong movie from the 70s.
Yes. That's when you could have nudity in a PG film.
Yeah, TriStar Pictures distributed it. I don't know, but I just thought if you were a Patsy Cline fan, maybe you might have seen it, but I don't know. I've never seen it, but that's all.
I do remember that one, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so moving on.
Pretty good. I don't remember any of the details back then. This was before I was into, like, did the actor do the singing, or was it dubbed, or any of that kind of stuff.
Ed Harris with hair still looks weird to me. Sissy Spacek, Coal Miner's Daughter, that's a really good one.
Yes.
Yeah. But Patsy Cline biopic says deleted scenes. One of the worst movies in 1985. What was it? Sweet Dreams. I've not seen it, but I don't know. Jessica Lange, Remo Williams.
The adventure begins. I wish we had gotten the appropriate sequels to this movie. This was a much better film than it's given credit for. Did a rewatch of this right after he died. In fact, just because. I think we did this one, and we did Time Rider, also a movie that he was in. That was a little creepier of a film.
Geek Flag is asking where I find these movies. I did research of movies in 1985 and went by release date. This was originally going to start out as just a summer 85 movies, but Troy said there's so many other movies from 85 we have to cover, so I decided we'd save the others for the other stream. But Remo Williams, we did a live rewatch of this after the actor passed, and this was supposed to be a series, but it didn't quite make it. But what's her name from Voyager was in this too?
Oh, Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew was in this, yes.
She plays a military officer that it was. Yeah, it's also very farcical. It introduces and this is also real politically incorrect because you got an actor playing an Asian character and he's not Asian.
I don't know.
He plays
he was still
Chen, the Shinanju master who is teaching Remo Williams to be an assassin using all these pseudo magical,
Korean martial arts. That's what it was, right? Yeah, it was.
This whole thing where you learn how to, like, take your two fingers and poke them through a wooden board. He's so strong he can support himself on just his two fingers, and he can dodge bullets because he's so fast. And the way you do it is that your mind learns to recognize where he's aiming and where the bullet's going to be, and you hear the tendons of his fingers before he pulls the trigger, and you're able to dodge. And when you get powerful enough, you can run on water because you can run so fast.
Yeah, I mean, we watched it. I enjoyed it, but political correctness wrecked everything. I have to tell you, Mark Daly, I was watching. Earlier today, I was watching the Bad News Bears. Remember the 70s Bad News Bears?
Yes.
And there's one kid there that's using like every racial expletive in the book, complaining about all the other team members. But then one team member says, "Well, since most of us are of either this, or that, maybe you should shut your mouth." It was like that. But
yeah,
it's like even in a kids movie you'd have that, but it was not. I don't know. I think people got more sensitive after that. I saw Remo Williams with Rambo when I was 15 at a double feature theater. Thank goodness Remo Williams was a good movie because Rambo sucked. It's funny, I did Rambo last week, but I like Rambo, but I made a point that some people have thought that it's actually supposed to, again, much like Commando, supposed to be a wink at the audience kind of movie, but I don't know. Let's move on to, what is this? Can you read that?
That is Silver Bullet.
Yes, the Stephen King, another Stephen King adaptation.
We've
Corey
done a watch
Haim.
party of that. I want to say that was on Big Al Presents we did that.
Is that your favorite werewolf movie?
No, it's not my favorite, but I do like it a lot.
I'm in the Howling camp. I think the Howling's my favorite.
Yeah.
I know. I think what's the rule? You're either American Werewolf in London or you're Howling.
Well,
and I like him. I love.
No.
London,
I'm a both. Both. Yeah, both is good.
Okay.
Because let's face it, Jenny Agutter. You know that in and of itself is enough reason to love that movie. Both movies have boobies, so that is what you love about 80s horror films.
Silver Bullet, though, was a Twin Peaks alumni in this as well, if I recall?
Yes. Oh, damn, I'm forgetting the actor's name.
Always forget it.
And Deleted's going to jump in here, I know. Big Ed Hurley plays the priest. Yes.
Good little movie, though. Kind of a mystery where you're trying to figure out who the werewolf is, right? For a little
yes,
while,
and that's probably the best thing about this. I believe that this film, and there may have been others before it, I don't know, but this is the first one I remember where that was the Everett McGill. Thank you, Deleted Scenes. Yes, absolutely.
Darth Plato, super chat.
Darth Plato for $2 says best werewolf movie is Teen Wolf. We
did
about
that summer once. Yes, that was also this year. Good year for werewolves.
You're right. It was a good year for werewolf movies. This was the first movie that I remember where the mystery was figuring out who the werewolf was, which has led to the now famous party game, Secret Werewolf, where somebody is a werewolf. And you get to ask each other questions. You're trying to figure out who the werewolf, and people, get killed every round until you figure out who the werewolf is. Yeah.
Geek Flag. They both were talking about a British film called Dog Soldiers, which is a werewolf movie. I'll have to look for it.
I have those on DVD. Yeah.
Werewolf movies always took a backseat to vampire movies. They did. Well, werewolves. I think it's harder to do werewolf movies because a vampire you can pretty much have a person playing them with some light makeup, not even makeup.
Yeah, so I have to admit on the Dog Soldiers thing, I did get the DVDs. I have not yet watched them, and the way I became aware of them was and I haven't done a video about this yet, I will eventually. I used to collect, you've heard of Hero Clicks, right?
Yes.
Well, there was WizKids also did a line that was directly related called Horror Clicks, and one of the creatures was Dog Soldiers, and you had the 3 different levels of power of these Dog Soldiers, and I was like, well, this is interesting. They look like werewolves, and they have some of the same powers as werewolves. And I started looking into it, and I was like, oh, there's this movie series, and I said I gotta find out about them. And I like both Howling and American Werewolf in London, absolutely. American Werewolf in London is what introduced me to the song Werewolf in London by oh shoot, what's his name?
Warren Zevon, right?
Warren Zevon, right?
I like that music video. I don't care. I think
I love that
cheesy
music
80s or maybe it's even 70s. I don't know.
Which of course was also featured in the Tom Cruise film A Color of Money with Paul Newman, which was filmed at the pool hall just down the road from my university, DePaul.
So, Geek Flag with Nate Knows says, what is it? The 2 best werewolf movies were, he had a super chat.
Dog Soldiers and Howl. I also have that movie on DVD.
I need to watch Howl.
I have a... Yeah, I think the list of movies that I don't have is probably shorter. Dog Soldiers, Rourke's Drift with Werewolves. Interesting. I will watch them. I have them on DVD. They're on my to watch list. A Werewolf Whodunit and Agatha Christie didn't write it. Interesting. Yeah, there you go. If
you want another great werewolf whodunit, I recommend the Amicus the movie The Beast Must Die from the 1970s. It actually lays it out like a murder mystery, and then it gives you an intermission and says, "Who do you think the werewolf is?" We'll let you take some notes for a couple minutes, and then we'll tell you who the werewolf is and the party members, right? You know?
Wait a minute. Are you being serious here, Jesse Guajardo? Troy, did you hear about the new Disney Plus Marvel series based on the tabletop game Werewolf the Apocalypse? No.
Please. No,
please, no.
You want to have that clip from The Office? Why did they do no? I'll look into that. Maybe not for this weekend, but I'll maybe for future geekies.
Have you seen Kindred the Masquerade? Is that what it's called? Kindred the Masquerade?
I think so.
It was a
Kindred the Embraced.
Kindred the Embraced. That's what it
right.
was. It was based on Vampire the Masquerade. Great series. Loved that show. Lasted for one season. It was based on White Wolf. The sister game to Werewolf the Apocalypse which was Vampire the Masquerade. I have all of those books, all of those source books for the role-playing games. Horror Clicks, now that's nostalgia. So I have almost every single Horror Clicks, figure and the cards and all of that kind of stuff. And I did get Hero Clicks put out a horror line. It wasn't Horror Clicks again. It was, horror figures in the Hero Clicks line. It was a limited edition, and I got every single one of them.
That's cool.
Yeah. Kindred was interesting, yeah. Did you ever play Redemption? What is Redemption? Was that in the same White Wolf line?
It sounds like it is. Yeah.
Is that like Red? Was it?
No, Red Dead Redemption is a Western video.
That's a Western video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like something in that line. Maybe
the lead actor died. I want to say was it a car? No, I think it was a motorcycle accident.
All right.
Yeah, that one was rough, but
Silver Bullet though. Worth checking out.
Yeah, definitely. I love that movie.
Werewolf, I recommend The Hunter's Guide to Parenting. Oh, that's weird.
That sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out. Okay, so here we get to the first one that I have absolutely no idea about.
Okay, the only reason I bring up the Holocroft Covenant, I keep thinking I saw it.
Michael Caine?
Yes, Michael Caine. Okay. You have to understand something. Michael Caine would be in anything.
Yeah, he would. He
didn't mean that everything he was in was bad.
He was a lot of bad movies, yeah.
But it was based on a Robert Ludlum, novel and directed by John Frankenheimer. I keep thinking I did see this at one point. I think it's maybe it involves I think he finds out his father was involved with a certain German organization back in the day he was unaware of, and now they're after him. Or I don't think it's one of those thrillers. It looked interesting, but I've not seen it. Okay, but it's Robert Ludlum, the Born Identity guy.
Before you go on, I think if we were going to be disciplined about our time, we would be a little bit past the half hour.
You want to do the commercial break?
So I'm going to go to our commercial break. It's not a paid commercial. I'm just letting you know what we've got coming up this week. Give me 2 minutes 20 seconds so I can refill my drink, and I'll be right back.
You are watching Last Call, streaming every Friday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Come on in, pull up a chair, and have a drink with us.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Dan Aykroyd is making the world safe for insanity. It's Dr. Detroit on Netters Network, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Papa Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week on Live from Sparkwood in 21, we will be taking a drive down David Lynch's Lost Highway, searching for where the road leads us, possibly to our own psychogenic fugue. Join us this Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
The Ultra spend their lives on Ultra World collecting information, and Callie and Avon's brain patterns are next on their list. Now the race is on. Tarrant and Dana must reach them before they are absorbed into the core. It's Ultra World, this Tuesday on Last Call Presents Blake 7 at 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
It's Thursday night, and Netters Network talks to the streamers who have everybody talking. It's Thursday Things. Thursdays at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network.
Did you top off your glasses? We now return to Last Call.
You have to introduce me to her sometime. She sounds sweet. I'm just saying.
I think you and Sophia would get along very, very well.
Sophia, okay.
I think she's a little young for you, but...
Well, anyway, moving on to The Quiet Earth, science fiction movie. Ring a bell to you at all? I believe it was an Australian production.
Dude, I thought it was New Zealand.
Is it New Zealand? It is New Zealand. No, you're right. It is New Zealand.
Dude, this is the weirdest damn coincidence. I literally just saw this movie 3 days ago.
What did you think? So I've not seen it.
I cannot believe it. I didn't realize it was an 85 film. I was watching a video someone else had done about, I don't remember what it was that tied all the movies together. It was talking about different sci-fi films that you haven't seen and you should. And this one sounded interesting to me, so I checked it out. So here's what I'm going to say about this. If you have ever seen, well, I think at this point everyone knows the big twist ending to Planet of the Apes, right? And it bothers me that on all of the Planet of the Apes DVDs, the collections and whatnot, they always put the whole ending, the Statue of Liberty buried in sand trick ending that you're not supposed to know about until you get to the end of the movie, right? It kind of ruins it for you. Basically, this poster does the exact same thing for Quiet Earth. This is literally the last scene of the movie. And it's like, it's trippy. This is, yes, it's a sci-fi film, but it must have been a very low budget. There is almost no special effects to it. It's one of those Last Man on Earth type movies. Guy wakes up in the morning and there's no one else around. He goes to work. He doesn't see anybody. He gets to work. Nobody's there except in like one room of I mean, important part of the story. He works at some sort of scientific laboratory type thing with a big dish, type of thing.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you.
One of the technician type guys, he's dead at his console. So it's kind of weird that this guy, there's a corpse there basically. which starts giving him clues to what might have happened. And he kind of ends up, doing the thing where, okay, everyone's dead, so I can do whatever I want, and I can, take things from people's houses, and I can eat all the food in the grocery store, and blah, 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 blah. At one point, he dresses in a woman's dress just because he can.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And then he finds out that he's not really alone. There is somebody else. In fact, there's 2 other somebody else's. They also find a couple other bodies. So in other words, they realize that some people survived whatever the event was, and then died subsequently. And he kind of pieces together what happened, and he's trying to prevent this thing from happening again, which would literally destroy the Earth. Real trippy sci-fi. I don't want to give away the ending because the ending is a big WTF. And it's one of those things where after I got to the ending, I'm like,
WTF.
Wait, what? And then I looked it up to see if there was any other information I could find out. Find out this was based on a book. And when I read the synopsis of the book, I'm like, okay, this wasn't the best adaptation that they could have done of the story. The book makes more sense. But it's still a very, very good movie. It is good for what it is. If you can forgive the weird ending, everything up to that ending is really good and really worth checking out. And talk about, we've seen this with like 28 Days Later and things like that, where even the Doctor Who in Dalek Invasion of Earth, right, where you have like whole cities where there's nothing in it, and you're like, how the hell did they film this, right? That's very much what this movie is. There's a lot of scenes where he's in places where you would expect there to be a bunch of people, and there's nobody. It's really, really well done. I have a suggestion. We do a different year in the 80s every Friday till the end of summer. I can't promise you that. I'm kind of weary after 3 weeks of 1985.
But we do these every so often, Nate. In fact, if you go back to some of our past streams, we did 99 one time, and I think we did, was it summer of 83? It was the one where all the big movies came out, like Blade Runner and Conan the Barbarian and E.T. We did that summer. Yeah. So don't worry, we will be doing these in the future.
We'll get around to them, sure.
But we do have a couple other streams in the back burner, including one that may involve UFOs.
Clay, I didn't really ruin anything because that poster doesn't explain the ending. In fact, it makes zero sense. You need to see it. This is probably the biggest effect in the movie, is this
I'm
image.
Curious about this one, though. It looks creepy.
It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
Oh, the Albert has something. Quiet Earth, when being the last man on Earth means never having to say you are sorry. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
You could just flip the bird. What are you going to do about it?
Welcome to the Horror King. So good to see you as well. Another channel where I would ask a Blue Wrench to drop the link, because it sounds like the Horror King has a channel I might really like to subscribe to.
Cool.
And of course, thank you for being here, Booger. I just like saying that. Just got home from work. It was too busy to. No, that's fine. You can always rewind, catch, play it on super high speed, or you can catch the stream later on if you want. It's all good. Yeah, you want to see it now? Yeah, it's worth checking out. It's worth checking out. Again, it's on Tubi. You can see it for free. It costs you nothing, and it won't feel like a waste of your time. It was interesting. Absolutely. I'd say sorry to begin with. I must be missing.
Oh, it was a reference to never having to say you're sorry when it's the end of the world. Could I get a birthday shout out because
I
Thompson?
did say hi to E. Clay Thompson. Somebody dropped a link for his channel, I believe.
Okay, Geek Like must have been summer of '82. All right.
And the horror king says, "Could I get a birthday shout out? Because I turned 40 on Tuesday, July 8th. So happy birthday, the horror king. I am going to sing happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, the horror king, happy birthday to you.
Okay.
All right. Their link.
Not only does Tubi have some good movies, they're good movies that people like may not have known about. Sleeper hits is what I like to call them, you know?
All right. Did everyone have accents in this, by the way?
Yeah, they all had.
This is in New Zealand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now do it in Latin. Very funny, Darth Plato. Don't give him ideas.
I'm too drunk to mentally translate that into Latin, but I probably could. I probably could.
Don't. He'll do it anyway. Moving on to
Netter dropped the link so that I can subscribe to the horror.
I'm already subscribed.
Speaking of horror.
I am not, but looks like a good channel. Right? I just subscribed to the Horror King.
Speaking of horror, do you see what I have?
Oh, Reanimator! This is a
Stuart Gordon adaptation of Herbert West Reanimator by H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes.
I believe this is one of the few times where I actually read the short story first, or the novella, before I saw the movie. Jeffrey Combs was in this.
Yes, he was. It's
interesting. They originally were going to try to make him like he was in the book, which was that very blonde hair, blue-eyed. But then Jeffrey Combs did such a good job in the auditions, they cast him.
Interesting.
This is a wonderful horror. I want to almost say dark comedy in some areas. It's kind of a redo of the Frankenstein formula.
Yeah, I always imagine that Lovecraft was inspired by Shelley. Real quick, Booger, no, I don't speak Latin fluently. I understand a lot more than most people do, so I can usually come pretty close. My pronunciation isn't bad.
He was a choir boy.
I was a choir boy, yeah.
Altar boy.
No, yeah, we didn't have a choir at my church. I was an altar boy, and I learned the entire Mass in Latin, and from there I got interested in Latin, and just started picking up words here and there. Mostly legal and medical terms, but I know a bit. I'm also real into, you see, I'm kind of a word nerd, so I kind of am really into etymology. So I always like, where does that word come from? And you trace it back, and it's either Germanic or French or Latin or whatever. So yeah.
Anyway, big fan of Reanimator. It's one of the great 80s horror movies. One of the I think one of the more successful H.P. Lovecraft adaptations as well. And they had it set in modern times. They did originally want to set it in the 1920s, but it was a budgetary thing. But some great gore effects in this movie.
Yes, it was a
reanimated head. And I remember the line when he says, "You'll never get credit for my experiments. Who's gonna believe a talking head? Get a job in a sideshow."
Exactly. Did they make Reanimator 3? I don't know.
I think they made Beyond Reanimator, which may be part 3. You know what they wanted to do, and they couldn't get it off the ground? They wanted to do House of Reanimator, which was going to be about Herbert West is brought in to reanimate the President of the United States because they're in the middle of a Middle East conflict, and you have to bring back the President of the United States, and they're going to have William H. Macy play the reanimated President of the United States, but they didn't get off the ground. Think about that. It might have been it was probably a lampoon of a certain president we had in office a couple decades ago. Anyway.
Where does this word come from? Well, when one word really loves another word. Anyway, sometimes that's true.
Bruce Abbott also stars, and Barbara Crampton is in this movie.
Uh-huh.
Barbara Crampton.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just saying she's easy on the eyes. Anyway, I'm just saying, House of Reanimators sounds like a
All
great
of her is
comedy.
very easy on the eyes. Don't worry about being late. I'm just glad that you're here, Enigma.
Did you know Barbara Crampton was in that Body Double movie? She's the girlfriend of our lead that he finds in the apartment. House of Reanimators sounds like a great comedy. It sounded like a great idea. It's one of these movies we don't get off the ground, like Bubba Nosferatu. It was going to be the sequel to Bubba Hotep. We never got that off the ground either.
Oh my gosh. A Horror King says, I have a movie on DVD called Raiders of the Lost Shark. I got it ages ago for €1. It looks terrible, but it also looks like a fun movie to watch. So it's funny you bring that up because there is a movie that we talk about on our channels a lot whenever we talk about bad movies. Big Al Presents he does a lot of film reviews, and sometimes he does bad movies just for the fun of it. And he did a review of a movie called Ouija Shark. That movie is horrible.
I need to
but
see
Netter
this.
and I had so much fun with it because we've gotten so much mileage out of talking about that movie. It's sometimes the bad movies are kind of worth it. Yeah, Reanimator makes a lot of horror movies look tame by comparison, yeah.
There's some good gore in this movie, and it's funny because Roger Ebert, you know what he called Reanimator? He called it good trash. And he says,
Good
as a critic,
trash,
you have to separate the good trash from the bad trash. A lot of the critics didn't understand. Because he said, yes, there's all these things in it that should make it an awful movie, but it's not. That's what he gave it a thumbs up, so I thought that was interesting.
There you go.
Need to see Ghost Shark. Isn't that the same thing as Ouija Shark, or is that just a pale imitator, Jessica Hardo?
I don't know. It's definitely in the same wheelhouse. Yeah.
Anyway, check out Reanimator, horror classic. If you haven't, it's a great one to watch on Halloween time.
No, now this is in my head. Ouija Shark, do. Ouija Shark, do.
Now you're definitely demonetized. That will get you out.
Well.
No, it's a children's song, so.
Well, but it's probably copywritten.
Anyway, oh Lord, now it's into my head. Thank you. Moving on to
Suffer with the rest of us. Yes,
dude. Look at this poster.
This has to be a canon film
for
too.
The greatest movie ever made, Death Wish 3. Have you seen Death Wish 3?
I saw Death Wish.
Okay, so Death Wish 2 happened. And in that one, he loses his daughter, and his fiance leaves him at the end.
It is coming, Darth Plato. I am going to do a karaoke stream over on Rumble. I have promised you guys I will be doing that.
So in Death Wish 3, Paul Kersey decides to visit a old war friend of his, even though he wasn't in the war because he was a conscientious objector. But anyway, is a veteran friend of his living in New York City. Remember, he left New York City at the end of Death Wish 1, so now he's going back to visit a friend. And New York City in this movie, instead of it being like a gang of 5, it's a gang of 50,000, okay? All horrible, scummy criminals overriding this block. It's an army. And he goes to visit his friend, and his friend gets murdered by these guys because he's not giving them the payments. So the police arrest him, arrest Paul Kersey, and they're like, I know who you are. You're Mr. Vigilante. But he says, you know what? I'm going to turn you loose because we don't have a handle on this situation. Go do what you do, but keep me apprised. And then he befriends all the groups. Like you have like this nice like Jewish Polish immigrant couple living in the apartment building, and they're getting harassed by these horrible. Marina Sirtis is in this as
that does not necessarily make it a good movie. Rook King says, "I think you should watch the trailer for Raiders of the Lost Sharks." It's on YouTube. I will. I'll check it out. I absolutely will.
Mark Daly says a very young Marina Sirtis appears naked. Yes, during I'm going to be polite, a violation scene, which is probably the least...
Wait, in this movie?
Yes.
I did not know. I thought her only nude one was the period piece that she's in with...
No, it's also a canon movie. Anyway, Marina Sirtis, I think Red Letter Media played a clip when they were covering this movie, and they said they played a clip of Marina Sirtis at a Star Trek convention early on and saying how she was so grateful to the love of the fans and the success of Star Trek because it got her out of doing other movies. And I think she was referring to movies like this because she thought movies like this were a real career dead end. And then she gets to be on Star Trek, which is a lot more respectable than being in Death Wish 3. Oh, Death Wish 3 is wonderful. It's basically Paul Kersey going to war with an entire army of just horrible street thugs. Like the Gigglers in this movie. You know what the Giggler does? The Giggler will steal your purse and then giggle. Ha 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 ha! As he runs off. So Paul Kersey gets a Wilby Magnum sent to him. He has the Wilby Magnum, and he has an expensive camera on his back. The Giggler sees it and goes, ha ha ha, and steals the camera. And then Paul Kersey pulls out the Wilby Magnum and shoots him in the back. And then the Giggler dies. And then all the people in the neighborhood look out of the window and says, he's killed the Giggler. That's the son of a beat that stole my pocketbook. And they're all cheering on Paul Kersey.
Oh, jeez.
It's so bad.
So apparently
watch
Shudder
one
has
Death Wish movie. Watch Death Wish 3.
Shudder has Puppet Master 1, 2, and 3. I've seen all of those movies. They, you know,
dude, Death Wish 3, man. Look at that poster. It's him with the Wilby Magnum. If you look at the background, it's like an army of Mad Max style hooligans. Okay, out there running New York City. Okay, it's just
sounds like you'd love this movie.
It's a Canon Films movie. I love all the Death Wish movies, but this one's my favorite out of all of them. 4 is good too. That's him taking on all the drug cartels. Oh, it's so bad. Okay, it's just so bad. Okay, but anyway, moving on to
yes, thank you, Albert. That is the movie I was thinking of. Yeah.
You know what's so funny? By the time you get to Death Wish 3, it has to be someone going after an old friend of his because all of his whole family's gone. He's lost his daughter and his wife and everyone. It's Death Wish 3 and Full Metal Jacket were filmed in London at the same time. A number of actors are in both movies. Interesting.
Makes sense.
Very interesting. And I'm not going to try to argue which one is better. I've seen the first one, but not the sequels. But I will watch them hopefully within the next few days. Death Wish 2 is somehow, I'm going to warn you up front, it's in a lot of ways sleazier than the first one. Death Wish 3, though, is just pure ridiculousness if you watch it. It's Bronson going to town. You can find clips of it on YouTube. It's wonderful. All right, Lady Miss. Okay, welcome.
Thank you for encouraging our guest here.
Criminals did rule New York City in the 1980s, pre-Giuliani. That's why Dirty Harry and Death Wish were so popular. That's true. I remember that was when Dinkins was running things. Oh,
Mark Daly says criminals did rule New York in the 80s.
Ed Koch, I think he was, yeah.
Giuliani. That's why Dirty Harry and Death Wish were so popular. Now those criminals have run for office and taken over. And you have the situation you have now, so there you go.
Geek Flag. I've actually seen Death Wish 3, but I haven't seen the 1 or 2. They're fine. I think 1 is the one that aspires most to be like a serious movie, and then you get 2, which is just... I don't want to get into 2 right now. There's some scenes in that movie which... a young Lawrence Fishburne is in Death Wish 2, which is interesting. Moving on.
All right.
Moving on to
Nightmare
on Elm Street 2.
Ooh, yeah.
This is considered the black sheep of the series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wes Craven wasn't involved. They threw it together to make some money.
And it was a little bit it's more or less the forgotten, child of the series. Yeah,
there is a wonderful scene in it though where Freddy appears I guess in the real world at this party. Like he jumps, I don't know how he appears physically, and then he looks at all the kids at the party and says, "You're all my children now." Remember when he said that?
Yeah.
It's okay. This was actually the first Nightmare on Elm Street I saw. A friend had his mom had rented it for us at a Halloween party. But anyway, I remember there's a scene with a tongue, right?
Yes. But that was actually a recurring theme throughout the movies. Have you seen the movie The Town That Dreaded Sundown? I think we did a watch party of that on one of our channels here. I don't remember it very well.
I've actually never seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
You've seen the
I've only
first
seen
one.
I have them all on
No,
DVD.
you did a rewatch of one, I remember.
We are gonna watch them this weekend. We're starting tomorrow as soon as we get up. We're gonna watch all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Netter, you have seen the first one.
I'll be divorced by Sunday afternoon. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, but you know what they should have done? They should have done Kiss versus Freddy Krueger.
That would have been interesting.
Gene
yeah.
Simmons with the long tongue. Anyway, I'm just saying. Okay. Moving on. Not much to say about Nightmare on Elm Street 2. You can tell we're at Halloween because I keep running into all these horror movies. Live and Die in L.A. I've not seen it. Have you? I've heard of the title.
Have not. I've heard of it. I don't know it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then we're
same
moving
This
on.
is one that I bet Deleted Scenes knows a thing or two about.
People in the chatter probably screaming at us. You haven't seen this? It's a classic. I'm sure it is, but
yeah, Jesse Guaro's always. Oh my God! Yes.
Okay. I guess.
Okay, let me look this up real quick.
Oh, for the love of Mike. Let's move on.
Oh, you know who's in this? Is Willem Dafoe.
He's good. I like him.
A fearless Secret Service agent will stop at nothing to bring down the counterfeiter who killed his partner. Well, there you go. We got William Peterson, Willem Dafoe, John Pankow, Deborah Fuhr. There's a lot of people at it. Well, Dean Stockwell.
Deleted Scenes loves it. Okay, I'm sure it's one of the great ones.
You know who's in this? Is Robert Downey Sr.
There's a Robert Downey Sr. that was.
Well, if there's a Robert Downey Jr., there's got to be a Robert Downey Sr.,
What,
right?
I mean, his dad was an actor?
Yeah, apparently. It looks a lot like him, too. You could kind of tell.
I had no idea.
So there you go.
Oh, wait. I got the wrong one because the thing clipped up. Oh, well. Nightmare on Freddy Loves You. Yes. Someone said it was the greatest movie ever made here. Someone said someone famous, but Watch Party for LA, it was okay. I don't know. I've heard it's good. I just haven't seen it. That's all. You know, we're not as we should be. I made a point that I should make a big long list of all the movies I haven't seen and just watch those instead of anything new. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
William Friedkin, best. Oh, I like William Friedkin. I will look for that. I didn't realize he did that to Live and Die in LA. Let's see here. Gene Hackman, Matt Dillon, Target. Have you heard of this one?
Never heard of it.
I like the cast. Gene
Yeah.
Hackman is good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. We got Transylvania
65000.
I've not seen this. I've avoided it. Is it good? It looks stupid. I'll be honest with you. That's why I never watched it.
It's stupid funny. It really is.
I
So,
like
of
Jeff
course,
Goldblum. I think he's in it, but still.
Obviously, the title is a riff on the old song Pennsylvania 5000.
Yes.
Which of course featured in Twin Peaks. It was one of the songs that Leland sings in his goofy fugue state. It's funny. It's a riff on all the horror movies. I remember watching this. We rented this for a Halloween party that I was at in high school. Booger says it was a great movie.
Hey,
I agree.
How do I in the 6th grade get to watch Nightmare on Elm Street and you in high school are watching Transylvania 5000? That's interesting.
We didn't just watch, R-rated movies in high school.
I don't know. I thought that was all.
We watched funny movies. We watched family movies too.
A lot of the comedies were R-rated back then, actually. Maybe this was R-rated. I don't know.
As I recall, wasn't Jeff Goldblum like the lead in this movie?
Gina Davis was in this too, apparently.
Yep.
They were a thing at the time. Maybe they met on this movie. I don't know. Target was not bad. Good cast. I'll look for Target. Like I said, there's probably some good stuff on here that I'm not. I know Tarantino rags on the 80s, but I think it's a much better decade than he gives it credit for.
So 2 tabloid reporters are sent to Transylvania to find the Frankenstein monster or get fired. They are laughed at there, but something suspicious is going on. Yeah, it's funny. It's a lot of fun. Jeff Goldblum, Joseph Bologna, Ed Begley Jr., Carol Kane, Jeffrey Jones, Gina Davis. Norman Fell. Oh yeah, that's right. Teresa Gensel. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is yeah. You should check this out if you haven't seen this. This is a good one to watch. Yeah, it's probably one to watch for Halloween, just for fun.
Okay.
You know, it's not like a scary movie. It's a comedy.
Another comedy, Once Bitten.
Yes, I know that movie.
I like this movie. I don't care if people hate it. I like it.
I love this movie. I don't know why anyone would say they didn't.
You know why I like it? Because we have a love triangle, but it's 2 women and a guy for once instead of being the other way around. Okay, that's why I like this movie.
Well,
one's a vampire, so yeah, she's a vampire who was played by that model. What's her name?
Lauren Hutton.
Lauren Hutton. Yes.
Yep.
And
Karen Coppins plays the high school or college
high school girlfriend,
whatever.
and Jim Carrey's the hapless guy. That's
Jim Carrey has a role in this.
He's the lead. Yeah.
He starts getting a little bit cooler as he's becoming
I guess Lauren
a vampire.
Hutton's the lead. Yeah, but yeah.
There is okay. So if you see this movie, look at Jim Carrey. That's what high school Troy looked like. Exactly. Spitting freaking image. The way he wears his hair, the clothes he wore, the jeans and the t-shirt with the flannel shirt over it, that was high school Troy. Absolutely. It's uncanny how much he looked like me. Or I look like him, depending on how you look at it. Cleavon Little plays a character who's kind of like a Renfield to Lauren Hutton's.
He's funny. He's the vampire assistant, right? Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he's in this. Geek Flag likes this once, but I liked it a lot. I tend to like a lot of these vampire comedies.
This one is a great one.
Yeah, Cleavon Little was in this.
Vampire? I'm a day person.
It's just, at very least, watch the dance-off between Lauren Hutton and, what's her name? Karen Coppins to
this
win
one
over Jim
is
Carrey.
definitely going to be one of the ones I put on the poll for this Monday. We may end up, if you guys want, we'll end up watching this one on Monday.
It's a fun little vampire movie. 80s just did vampire movies, and they did them. These were still traditional vampires, except for some reason they worked in the 80s, whereas they did not work in the 70s, which is what Love at First Bite was the joke about, was the fact that Dracula doesn't work in the 1970s. That's what the joke. No, because they did that with Christopher Lee in those Hammer ones where he came into modern 70s, and it don't work.
1970-something AD or whatever it was, yeah.
Funny enough, though, you had Count Yorga vampire, who's a Dracula-like vampire, and that worked in a 1970s setting, which is weird. So if you want to see an example of a vampire working...
You know what else worked? Another vampire movie that worked real well in the 70s? Blackula.
Well, there's that, too. I need to watch that.
Actually, Blackula is a much better movie than most people give it credit for.
Yeah, I've heard it is actually a lot better than most people give it credit. Once Bitten was okay. Grayson with Jim Carrey, where he's at a makeout spot early on. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, am I going to put it up there with Lost Boys? No, but it was still fun, I thought. Yeah.
Oh, Lost Boys is a classic.
That's probably the best 80s vampires movies. Yeah. Though I'm actually a big fan of the 80s vampire movie Vamp as well. That's not bad as well.
Was that the one with
Race Jones as the vampire?
Race Jones, yeah. Dude, why did you even put this one into the
Rainbow Bright? Because this is 80s. This is I put these on here for one reason only. When I was a boy, and let's face facts, 85, I was probably around 8. Okay, 8 or 9. And when you're a child in the 80s, they keep shoving all this horrible saccharine crap in your face that I wanted nothing to do with. Like being a boy in the 80s for me was just weird because I was weird. That's why Michael from Retroblasting always thinks it's weird because he doesn't quite trust me with my interests, and I want to tell him I was kind of weird for an 80s kid. But I remember all this crap. This was Rainbow Bright, and it's like I don't want to use this. I'll say it. I can't think of anything more girly than Rainbow Bright. Yeah, it's just
my brother. We used to watch all the Muppets, all the kids' cartoons, all I liked the Muppets. Kind of stuff. But there was no Rainbow Bright.
You were lucky because you were a child in the 70s, where I think the kids' entertainment was a bit better. Kids' entertainment
King, I did not see your question about Vincent Price. If you wouldn't mind dropping it again, I'll bring it up.
Fright Night, Best Vampire Movie. That's a good one too.
That is an excellent one. We've done at least one watch party on our channel about it.
That was a summer movie in '85. We covered that 2 weeks ago. That's a great. Chris Sarandon as the.
Chris Sarandon is perfect.
Excellent in that movie.
They never should have remade the damn movie. They never should have remade that movie.
Well, I might be able to reassess the remake if they could give us the original effects, which were prosthetic, before they overdid them with CGI, because Universal. Haven't seen Rainbow Bright and the Star Stealer in years. Yes, I have seen the movie more times than I care to admit. Who's saying this? Oh, the Horror King. That's a horror show. There was an episode. Do you remember the British cartoon Count Duckula?
Yes.
It was like
was that British? I didn't know it was.
It's a British cartoon. It was a spinoff from Danger Mouse, and
oh god, I love Danger Mouse.
Yeah, and I think Count Duckula took place in the same universe as Danger Mouse. There's an episode of Count Duckula where he ends up on this planet where everything is super sweet and saccharine, and it was the closest to a horror episode of Count Duckula, because you realize having everything nice and pretty all the time actually is quite horrible, especially from a vampire's perspective. It's just. Boomer, you were 8 in '85. You're no boomer. I've said this before.
He's not a boomer. He's younger than I am.
I'm gonna have to. I remind me this Sunday if you're there. I will explain to you the origin of my name on YouTube.
Boomer. Where are the fireworks? Yeah, they're going off all around us, Joe. By the way, Joe's Atmosphere, great channel, great support of the channel. He's always sharing out my streams. Really appreciate this guy. Make sure you're subscribed to his channel.
So you have not seen this movie. Netter?
No, and I will not be. I have no.
Netter, do you want to jump in?
I'm a girl and I haven't seen it.
See? Okay. There's my girl.
Moving on to
King Solomon's Mine.
Shoot me now. Oh, no.
Yeah, I saw this one. I wanted to like it. It was not good. This was a Canon film too, wasn't it?
Yeah, my dad was.
They got Canon. Jeez, Canon.
And I was a big Indiana Jones fan. Like, this was during my Indiana Jones phase. When I was getting
obsessed, they were trying to Indiana Jones it, and let's face it, this is what Indiana Jones was supposed to be. You know, it was very much inspired by King Solomon's Mine.
Well, yeah. What is it? H.R. Haggard, is he the one that wrote it? I don't know, but Doomer is younger than me. Thank you. Yes, I'm not. Anyway, don't worry. The 40s are slipping away from me. Anyway, King Solomon's Mine, though, I like the poster. I like Sharon Stone with the long.
I was just going to say Sharon Stone was
Richard Chamberlain, leading man. It's just the movie sucked. I'm sorry. John Rhys Davies, I think, is the villain, but it's still not good.
That's right. John Rhys Davies was great in everything he is. He if the movie's bad, you could say, well, at least John Rhys Davies was in it.
And somehow Alan Quartermain in Lost City of Gold is worse than this.
Yeah.
And then you had Firewalker with Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr., which I actually liked.
Yeah.
I actually argued that, you know what, it's a low budget, kind of an Indiana Jones knockoff, but they're not trying to set it in period. And, you know, I like Lou Gossett Jr. and Chuck Norris as a buddy team.
I'll tell you what, I liked everything Louis Gossett Jr. was in. I really did. Yeah. I mean, he was in some bad movies, but Louis Gossett Jr. had a way of elevating them. He really did.
Jessica Hartle, the best.
Solomon's Treasure, because Dave McCallum was in it.
The best Indiana Jones knockoff is A Ransom of the Stone, Jewel of the Nile. Well, we may be talking about that.
Getting there. We're getting there.
Let's move on to
One Magic Christmas. I don't know this one at all.
Dean Stockwell, I was in this, I remember, and I think he is an angel, or like he was a man that became an angel later on.
Gary Steenburgen, Gary Barcelona.
It was okay. It was an okay Christmas movie. I thought it was interesting that Santa Claus is in it, but there was also an angel in this too. And who played him? Was it Harry Dean Stanton played the angel? One Magic Christmas. Let me look that up. It wasn't terrible. I think it was about Mary Steenburgen was becoming very glum at Christmas time. Like, I think the dad was worried about losing the job, or maybe he lost his job, or his neighbor lost the job, and it's all about how...
Is it a little bit It's a Wonderful Life-ish?
In a way. I mean, the mom was very down on Christmas, but then, of course, you found out, no, Santa Claus is real. This man is an angel. It wasn't terrible. I didn't think it was terrible. Maybe it got panned at the time. But who the heck was playing? Who the heck played Mary Steenburgen? Harry Dean Stanton played the angel. I thought he was interesting in this. Yeah, I think it was like in It's a Wonderful Life where he was a person and then he became an angel after death or something. Yeah, but Lou Gossett was awesome in a cheesy TV series called The Powers of Matthew Starr. Interesting. Okay.
I remember The Powers of Matthew Starr. Yeah.
The kind of pervert romances a stone. I always hated Canon films. Thank goodness they don't make films anymore. There's a wonderful documentary about Canon films I recommend you watch. I know it was on Netflix at one point, but I have the DVD. It goes into... Poor Lou Ferrigno was having to argue with them over the Hercules movies because they kept trying to sex him up, and he didn't want that. He wanted to be because he was a family man at the time. He didn't want that.
Yeah.
But that was oh my goodness. Star Chaser... The Legend of Orion. Do you remember this? I've seen this, by the way.
I must have seen this movie. This looks so familiar.
This is a 3D. I think it was an animated movie with 3D effects in it, and I think there was rotoscoping going on in this. And I don't want to say it was a knockoff on Star Wars, but there are some similarities in certain points.
Michael Winslow was in this.
I actually don't hate this movie. I think the animation's interesting, but there's definitely a character in it who's almost like a basic Han Solo type if Han Solo had been played by Burt Reynolds.
Set on the subterranean mine world, a band of human workers are treated like slaves under the power of the evil overlord Zygon until one, Orin, unearths the hilt of a mythical sword that only he can master. Escaping the planet, he runs into the rogue smuggler Dag and a pair of helpful droids and the princess, who all team up to return to the mine world with the plan to defeat Zygon and free Orin's enslaved people. Damn, that sounds familiar. Maybe I'm thinking of Star Wars.
You might have seen it.
I'm pretty sure I did, because I went out of my way to check out all of these 3D movies, and this does look familiar. So
it had a decent budget, I'll say that. The animation is pretty good, actually. So sounds like Kroll. You know what? You could probably do a double feature of this and Kroll, Darth Plato. That might be an interesting double feature.
I like Kroll. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to Rocky
IV.
Big holiday.
This was fighting the Russian, movies. Right? This was
Ivan Drago.
Dolph Lundgren, yeah.
This one, there's a heartbreaking with Apollo.
Yeah.
Creed.
Well, and you see him draped in the flag, and of course he ends up throughout the first three movies. You have Apollo Creed wearing the red, white, and blue shorts.
Yep.
Well, Rocky inherits them in this movie, and he goes on to fight the Russian in Russia. And it's another one of those. They always did. This was a recurring theme in all of the Rocky films. The whole pride goes before a fall. You know, when you get too full of yourself, you get soft. And it's the young kid with the eye of the tiger that wins. And Rocky had already gotten the humbling, right, previously in, was it Rocky 3, where he, got a little too full of his own celebrity and realizes he needs to
go back to his roots,
buckle down. And in this movie, you see where the Russian is being, juiced up, and he's using all the most modern technologies that the Russians can give him. And Rocky is training by, chopping wood and running through hip deep snow and, all this kind of stuff. It's tropey, as all the Rocky movies were, but honestly, there has never been a Rocky movie I didn't like. Just gonna say it. I liked every one of them. If this was the worst Rocky movie, it was doing pretty good.
Darth Plato, shut your mouth. The newest edition edits out Paulie's robot for some reason. You know why? Because it ended up.
Admittedly, that was pretty stupid. Yeah.
I don't care. It belongs in the movie. The point was that's how rich Rocky was. He could buy Paulie a robot, and Paulie programmed it to act like his wife or something, right? Or like not in a sexual way, but you know.
Yeah. But it was dumb, but it was of its time. It belonged in the movie. The movie is not.
I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
By the way, Johnny, I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil too much of Karate Kid, the last season of Cobra Kai, but there's a scene where Ralph Macchio says, "Think about the movie Rocky," and I know you're all about Rocky 4, but no, because that's of course Johnny Lawrence's favorite Rocky movie.
Right. The what was James Brown's Living in America.
Living in America. That could be a contender for a national anthem, I think.
Yeah, well, you got a point there.
So that was all about how America kicked butt, and then you have Apollo Creed coming out with the Uncle Sam hat, and then what is and then Ivan Drago just says you will lose, and it's like oh you son of a you hated this hated Ivan Drago in this movie. Dolph Lundgren played him, remember?
Yeah, I think this was it was not the best introduction to Dolph Lundgren because he really is a pretty decent actor, and he's a very smart guy in general. They
wanted a guy like the Terminator. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, and he played it well, but that wasn't who he was in reality.
I must break you. Yeah, Joe's Atmosphere. I remember that.
Yeah,
and I still think it's a classic '80s Rocky movie. And I think Siskel and Ebert liked this one, or at least one of them did, because they thought this is one of the better villains they've seen in a movie in a while was Ivan Drago. But I don't know. I'm just it's check it out, but watch the first 3 first.
Yeah, you really should. Santa Claus the movie. This was a Salkide film.
Yes, the Superman people.
Very much in the vein of they use a lot of the same special effects.
Basically, Superman, another Superman movie, except it's Santa Claus instead of Superman.
Exactly. But it had that Superman 3 kind of sensibility, right? Because you got the serious Superman story, and then you got the goofy ass whatever the hell's going on with Dudley
John
Moore.
Lithgow. Dudley Moore. Here's what. Okay, I'll explain. Now I have to redo the plot for you. Dudley Moore was one of the first elves to go up to, I guess, St. Nicholas. Says, "Look, you're going to be. I know you make toys for the children. We want to have you be the eternal toy maker, or whatever." Okay, whatever. And Mrs. Claus goes with them. And anyway, so what was it? So Dudley, but he's all about trying out new things instead of the tried and true, and he makes he tries automating the toy shop, and it turns out to be a disaster. And then I don't know. I think he just leaves. I think him and Santa Claus get into an argument, and he just leaves, and he says, "I'm gonna go to the biggest toy manufacturer in, I guess, the United States," and he goes up, and evil John Lithgow runs the toy corporation, and they're gonna do Christmas 2, right?
It was a fictionalized version of Hasbro. Well, maybe it wasn't that fictionalized.
He makes lollipops. He creates lollipops that allow kids to levitate, remember?
Right.
And candy canes. No, first it's candy canes for Christmas, and then they need another big hit, and they're going to do Christmas 2, and it's going to be lollipops, but they're going to be selling them, But I forgot why this is such an evil plan. I guess because it's upstaging Santa Claus, because the kids want the candy canes that make them float. Santa Claus, the movie, was one of the worst movies of 1985.
It was one of those movies that there was enough in it where you're like, this could have been such a good movie.
Yeah, if they hadn't had all the product there's some bad product placement in this movie. There's a scene.
That was the Salkites. I mean, look at Supergirl. Look at Supergirl.
Popeye's Chicken, remember?
That was Supergirl.
And then there's a scene where I think there's a scene that's like Coca-Cola's all over the place. Of course, if you think about it, Coca-Cola created this version of Santa Claus. So,
well,
I guess
in a
it's
way,
fitting.
Coca-Cola and modern Christmas kind of go hand in hand. So
Yeah,
I
'cause
guess
they're the
it's
ones that
not-
created the because Father Christmas doesn't look like this in England. He wears green, right? But this
well,
was
mostly in the Scandinavian countries, he's gone more red, but he wears that long coat,
right?
You know, and oftentimes with the bishop's crook.
This is the movie which I learned which was Santa Claus's favorite cookie. Do you know what it is?
I don't remember.
Chocolate chip.
Makes sense.
Okay, I would have figured it would have been gingerbread because that's a Christmas cookie. But okay,
depends on who's sponsoring Christmas that year. Maybe it's Nabisco and Chips Ahoy, right?
Yeah, but this is John Lithgow. I guess he's evil, greedy toy company head. Like I said, Hasbro. Anyway,
yes.
And
yes.
there's a kid on the rocks and a rich little girl, and like they become friends, and like there's a scene with him looking longingly in a McDonald's in New York City. It's I don't know, gingerbread. Too on the nose, I guess so, but that's my favorite part about Christmas. Is gingerbread
I do like
comes
gingerbread.
Out. Love gingerbread.
Netter makes great gingerbread at Christmas time.
It's very hard to find gingerbread in stores nowadays too. We actually have a local bakery.
Screw it, make it yourself. Everything, if you do it yourself, it's going to be so much better than anything you ever get in the stores.
To be fair, my own household, we have our own Christmas cookies.
There are two cookies that I can accept a store-bought version of because it's really impossible to reproduce them yourself. That's Oreos and Chips Ahoy. Those two. That's it. That is it.
Yes.
My chocolate chip cookies are so much better than Chip Ahoy.
They're very, very different, though. They're very, very different. Chips Ahoy are those really hard and good dipped in milk type things. But yes, obviously, fresh, gooey, chewy cookies are always going to be the best.
Writer, okay, I'd rather see Supergirl again than Santa Claus the movie.
Well, I mean, Helen Slater, come on. You know, even a bad movie with Helen Slater.
Perfect casting for Supergirl. That's what the tragedy is with that. But anyway, moving on to Young Sherlock Holmes. I like it. Some people don't. You?
I saw it. I don't remember any of the details. This was a cable mainstay for a long time.
I remember.
That's why I saw it. I don't remember any of the details.
This is one of the first instances of Pixar animation in a movie. The scene with the stained glass knife. That was Pixar.
Right. That's right.
Remember, you have the one guy in the I guess the church abbey or whatever, and he's putting out
right.
And he's putting out the candles, and the night comes out. I guess for this was okay. The idea behind Young Sherlock Holmes is what if Sherlock Holmes and Watson had met when they were teenagers, and they even put a caveat.
Actually, Booger. Yes, I can.
What?
I can make a Fig Newton, sure.
So, and they even do a caveat at the end of the film. Yes, we know. They didn't meet till much later in life in the books, but this is we're just playing with a what if.
I like that. I like that. Acknowledging.
They acknowledge that, yes, this is not canon, and I thought they actually portrayed these characters well. I think Holmes does act like he would as a teenager. I think that Watson acts how he would as a teenager. And there's even a kind of a tragic love interest for Sherlock Holmes in this also. It kind of explains why he actually became more calculating. And I don't want to spoil this movie for you, but the main villain, he may also have Sherlock Holmes ties too. Anyway, but
so it's Moriarty. We know that.
Yeah, but he wasn't calling himself that yet, and
So he was calling himself Lessiarty. I understand.
No, he was. No, it turns out he was of at least part Egyptian descent, and he was running this Egyptian cult in the middle of London, where they were getting revenge on the people that burned down their village because they were doing bad things. It has a lot of Temple of Doom vibes to it because it was a Spielberg production. It was Amblin Entertainment. I think who directed it was Chris Columbus. I enjoyed this movie a lot. We would have gotten sequels, but it didn't do well at the box office. But interesting, the lead actor in this, if I can bring up his name, if you watch the movie Mr. Holmes, have you seen that movie?
I don't think I know that one.
It has.
You think I'm a bit of a Sherlock Holmes fan? Just saying.
I think it has Ian. Who's the one that played Gandalf in Lord of the Rings?
Ian McKellen.
Yeah, it's another what if story. Like if Sherlock Holmes had it's past, I think, the war, or at least he's older in that. He's suffering some memory loss because he's getting older, maybe early onset dementia, and he's trying to solve a case, which was brought to him, even though he's kind of he's being cared for by this mom and her son. And when they do a flashback though of him visiting Japan, they actually have the actor Nicholas Rowe, who played young Sherlock Holmes, as an adult Sherlock Holmes in the flashback scene of this Mr. Holmes movie where he's an old man. So I kind of thought that was a neat little, homage to this. I don't know, because I don't know. Arthur Conan did opium to make himself high to generate ideas for Sherlock Holmes. So that's interesting.
Well, Sherlock Holmes, the character, was a heroin addict, so,
I don't know. I remember there was one Sherlock Holmes story with Jeremy Brett. I was wondering where the guy was trying to become a better poet by hanging out in the in certain.
This is interesting. Booger says, I went to 221B Baker Street when I was in London. It is a fun, small Holmes museum. This is interesting to me because at the time that Doyle was writing these stories, there wasn't a 221B Baker Street. There was no 221 Baker Street. Baker Street did not go far enough to get to 221 at the time. He did that specifically so that it would be a fictional location. But as London grew and they extended the numbers of the houses, there eventually was a 221. And of course, subsequently, someone realized, hey, we could capitalize on this. That's how that came about.
I visited the estate. I don't remember who he was, but it was an estate of a rich American who was obsessed with Sherlock Holmes. In fact, he'd even written to Doyle to get permission to write his own Sherlock Holmes stories if Doyle wasn't going to do them anymore, because a lot of other writers ended up taking up the mantle of writing Sherlock Holmes stories. He was so obsessed with Sherlock Holmes that he had part of his, I guess, I don't know if it was like a castle or just a very nice estate, done up just like Sherlock Holmes' study in this house.
That's right, Albert. You're right. I was wrong. I was thinking more generally, less specifically. Good point.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. It's some would argue it's a good little Amblin production. Anyway,
yes, it is.
What was it? Steven Spielberg. He produced this, which is an old man you never imagine as a child. Then he did Hook with Peter Pan as an adult. You'd never imagine as an adult. So it's kind of like the reverse. Fool for Love. Kim Basinger.
I could see that Kim Basinger is in it. I have no knowledge of this movie.
Okay.
I don't know it either.
So
which ones are supposed to be this me on? Because I haven't found one yet.
It's starring Sam Shepard, directed by Robert Altman. Randy Quaid's also in it. Harry Dean Stanton again. Harry Dean Stanton was in a lot of movies.
He was in a lot of good movies, yeah.
All right, so moving on, though, probably worth checking out. Moving on to...
Spies Like Us. This was another one that I saw at a buddy's house at a party.
Any good? I've never seen it.
It's a cool little spy comedy. It's Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, what you would expect. I don't remember any details.
Welcome back, Mark Malikoff. I'm back.
Welcome.
The shuttle has landed from Rurpenta. Here I am.
Yeah, here I are. Fair enough.
Here I are. That's right. Okay. Moving on to
Jewel of the Nile. Yes. Kathleen Turner and Kirk Douglas's son.
Michael Douglas.
Right.
And Danny DeVito.
That's right.
Where there's a scene with Danny DeVito running across coals, I believe, right? Yes.
These same three would appear in, what was that movie where there are a couple that are getting a divorce?
Yeah, I know which one you mean.
War of the Roses.
Mr. and Mrs.
War of the Roses,
yeah.
That's right.
You're thinking of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I
Yes,
like Spies Like Us,
but
but
the
not
Roses part, but you beat me to it.
Did you like this movie? Was it as good as Romancing the Stone? I seem to remember it was not.
I remember this being a fun movie. It
was a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's like especially the part where they go to a remote little village, And it's like, Joan Wilder?
Yeah.
They know who she is. We read all your books.
Well, the funny thing was, I think the first movie was basically a lady writer named Kathleen Turner plays this romance novelist who writes all these bodice ripper type books, and then she ends up in basically a bodice ripper in the real world, right?
Yeah,
okay. That's
kinda,
what happens. Yeah. And intrigue, them trying to find a jewel. Michael Douglas, who's a roguish character, but maybe a bad guy, maybe not, and they fall for each other, and it's I don't know. It wasn't bad. I don't know. Okay, moving on to Clue.
I love this movie. I think this was a movie ahead of its time in how they
showed
marketed
it.
Yes. Yeah, they had multiple endings for this movie. So like it was a whodunit film, but whodunit was different at different theaters.
They had 3 different endings, basically.
3 different endings. Okay, fair enough. And you'd have to see it multiple times to see all the different endings. That's why, again, home media is great because you buy the one DVD, the one VHS, and it's got all the endings on it.
Yeah, I gotta go to the can again. Don't want to miss nothing.
Right.
Great cast.
Wonderful cast. And Madeline Kahn, of course, her character.
Loved her.
I talked about it the other night.
I hated her. Flames falling
from sides of my face. Yeah, that's all improvised, and it is so funny.
Yes.
I swear I laugh so hard that tears pour out of my eyes when I watch that movie. I love it.
Michael McKean's in this. Christopher Lloyd. Tim Curry as Wadsworth.
Tim Curry, who we'll be talking about in another movie in just a moment, was the butler, who is absolutely brilliant in this film. It's just great.
Yeah, just classic. Yeah, more light fun comedy than Century Charge. That's why I think I liked the first one better. War of the Roses remade Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. I saw the trailer and went, why? Olivia Colman, the one from Doctor Who?
No, that's Jenna Coleman.
Oh, okay. Are they related?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No freaking clue. No idea.
But yeah, Clue. It's a good movie. I like the intro, and like I said, if you get it on DVD, they give you like the first 2 endings, but this is what really happened. But to be fair, any of those endings are the plausible ending, right?
Exactly.
So worth checking out. This one I didn't see in theaters. I caught on cable. Clue is unjustly underrated movie. Fantastic cast. Tim Curry, superb. See this movie if you get a chance. Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
It really is good. I love this movie. It's so funny. So funny.
Moving on to Legend.
Legend. I know that Big Al loves it.
When I was a kid, they'd always have these fantasy movies. They had the children's fantasy movies like Never Ending Story and Dark Crystal and things like that. And then they had
Troy did it
Legend.
In the bar with the screwdriver.
Oh my goodness! Do you realize Tim Curry was also in this movie? He's the Demon Lord or whatever it is, right?
Yes, he was the embodiment of evil. Yes.
And didn't he want Mia Sara, and so did Tom Cruise, who was an elf
Well,
character,
Mia
right?
Sara was the one who could bring him the unicorn. He wanted the unicorn's horn because it would provide him ultimate power. He wanted to wipe out unicorns from the world or whatever it was.
Bad.
Yes, he was. That was his whole point. He was the ultimate evil.
Ridley Scott directed this.
Yes, he did.
Apparently, the European version had a completely different score.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to blow Mark Daly's mind. There is 3 films.
Don't ask. I saw
there
it.
There is a Never Ending Story 2 and 3.
Nope.
I have all 3 of them on DVD.
Nope.
None of them are worth seeing. Just the first one.
Frankly, I have issues with the first movie, even though I know it's a childhood favorite of the 80s. But Legend was not bad. It was okay. I mean, I don't know. I should probably reappraise it by watching the European version and see if that changes my opinion of
the
it.
Soundtrack was Tangerine Dream. Am I right about that?
In one of the versions, and then it's somebody else, I think, in the European cut. I think Arrow did a Blu-ray release of both versions where you can get both versions in the set. Did you like it? It had dwarves.
I liked it. I loved it. Goblins, the whole bit. Yeah, very, very inspirational for a D&D fan back in the 80s. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. I
Tom
like
Cruise, Mia Sarah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Moving on to
Brazil. Yes.
Terry Gilliam.
This is a Terry Gilliam film. If you are a Monty Python fan, this is.
He was talking about a possible future, which ended up being the actual future, the one we're living in currently. And the thing about
you're not far from wrong with that. That's true.
Do you remember what is going on in this? I think that they think that there's terrorists blowing things up, and it turns out no. All the products are made very badly, and they keep blowing up on people, right?
Yeah.
Because everything's crap in the future. Everything.
It's very, very much a film about consumerism and mass production.
Like I think Robert De Niro's in this, and I think he plays a guy who they're blaming for all the explosions, and it turns out no, he's trying to fix all the stuff that's breaking on people. And then I think Jonathan Pryce, he's the main character, as I recall, right?
Yes.
And I think there's a torture scene. It's a good movie. But yeah. So, A Story That Never Ends, can't have a sequel. Good point, Mark Daly. Anyway, Brazil, we're checking out. I don't have much to say.
Yeah, it's very trippy, though. Be prepared.
It's trippy.
It's not David Lynch trippy, but it's trippy.
No, Gilliam's a great director, and this is one of his best, so yeah. Probably made it on the 10 best of whatever year. Steven Spielberg turning dramatic with his adaptation of The Color Purple, if you recall.
Yes, it's a movie with Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey.
Anyway, as I recall, though, there was this one when that one actress was yelling about Steven Spielberg about never directing a movie about women or something, and then someone yelled out "Color Purple." Did he do that? Remember that? I think it was Elizabeth Banks that did that. She had egg on her face when she did that. Out of Africa, Robert Redford, Meryl Streep, Sidney Pollack directed.
I know it was a well-received, probably Oscar winner type, or at least nominated thing. It wasn't in my wheelhouse. It wasn't my bag.
Didn't care.
No.
Okay. I felt like Meryl Streep. They made a joke, I think, on Tiny Toons or Animaniacs where she's like, "Oh, another Oscar, thank you," and then she had like a duffel bag filled with just
right?
Because they would just always give her the award or something.
Not
sure why this movie is revered. Wasn't Sidney Pollack a great director? And I don't know, the leads are. I mean, Meryl Streep. I mean, for all my joking, I think she's a decent actress. I mean, I don't know, just. A chorus line. I'm surprised this came out.
This is the one that Netter is the absolute SME on, no doubt about it.
You like this one, Netter?
I'm a SME on this.
Aren't you? Wasn't this? Oh no, you were All That Jazz. Never mind.
I confused the two as well. Yes,
I
you're
never
right.
saw a chorus line.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay, I thought this would be you. Isn't this like a theater?
I thought this was a Netter thing. No, I don't remember this one. I'm sorry.
Out of Africa, well made, but not a great film. I don't know. Sidney Pollack was weird. I got the going back a second. I remember I picked up the Sleeping Beauty DVD from Disney, right? When Sleeping Beauty came out on DVD. And then Sidney Pollack has this whole thing, and I don't know why he's on the DVD, because he had nothing to do with Sleeping Beauty, and he's talking about aspect ratios and about saying how, full frame, you're losing half the movie, and he's explaining, because I guess Sleeping Beauty was one of these really wide widescreen Disney movies.
He's not wrong, yeah.
Sidney Pollack said that he got so angry at them cutting apart his movies, because he used to shoot them in the scope, that he actually went to the 185, the European widescreen, the more matte finish, the more matte looking ones, because he said, because he says he has nothing against 133. He says a lot of classic movies are made in that ratio, but that's not what I was shooting my film in.
Right.
And he got tired of his movies getting chopped up on home video, so he started shooting the where at least they would have to pan and scan less. So he started shooting them in that ratio because he got angry about what they were doing to his stuff on home video. But it was odd how that was on a DVD for Sleeping Beauty, which gave you the choice of choosing either full screen or widescreen.
Real quick, welcome Bo. He says, "Happy 4th of July, everybody! Drinking Hootie shots, Jack Daniels, honey at Hooters. Awesome. Have fun, my friend. I'm so glad you stopped by to say hi to us. A Chorus Line was a good musical, not a bad film adaptation. Better on stage, though. Fair enough.
Good to know. Moving on to...
What did I say about Louis Gossett Jr.? Like anything Louis Gossett Jr. was in, this is a great, great movie.
He should have been nominated. Working through that makeup in this. This is Enemy Mine. In my opinion, a very underrated science fiction movie.
Agreed.
Dennis Quaid and humans are at war with what? The Drakh? Were they called in this?
The Drakh, yeah. Exactly.
And he crash lands on this inhospitable planet, and it's him versus the Drakh, and they're attacking each other at first, and then they realize if they're going to survive on this planet, they have to work together.
Yep.
Even though they're aliens, and he eventually, the Drakh learns English and he learns the Drakh language, right? And it's
it reminds me of, there was a World War II film about a guy, an American and a Japanese pilot that crash on a planet. They need to survive together. I can't remember the name of the movie. Someone here is going to remember it, but it kind of reminded me of that, and. It's a really good movie. Very, very a great character piece. It really is.
Loved the film. Enemy Mine was fun, and Enterprise episode used the storyline a bit. Yeah. It's interesting because basically through his efforts in this movie, the Dennis Quaid character eventually he ends up becoming a bridge between the human race and this other alien race, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think he helps them get a peace treaty going instead of fighting over territory. And
yes, that's what it was. Hell in the Pacific. You're absolutely right. Lee Marvin and Toshiro Mifune, I believe.
Drakh was also the alien race in the JMS Crusade. The Babylon 5 sequel. Interesting. I remember Crusade. I liked Crusade. Again, thank you TNT for yanking that before I had a chance to be finished. You remember Babylon 5 Crusade?
Yes.
I was a big fan of Gary Cole, so I like the fact that they had him as a captain on that show, because I remember Gary Cole as the villain on American Gothic, so I was happy to see him in a more heroic role in that series. But one of my most underrated films of 1985, Enemy Mine, basically fugitive kind.
Great movie. I love Enemy Mine.
Kind of a tearjerker. Kind of pulls at the heartstrings a little bit because you're
it really does. Yeah, it's the ending is well, after a certain point it's kind of predictable, but like up to about the midpoint of the movie, you don't see it coming. Yeah.
Ran, I've not seen this. I should see this because it's Kurosawa. I have a big box set of Criterion Kurosawa DVDs that I need to sit down and watch one of these days. But I only bring it up here because Kurosawa is one of the legendary directors, and he still had a movie coming out in 1985.
Yeah, I did not see this. I heard a lot of good things about it. I think this one was also a nominee, but I did not see this myself.
Darth Plato says Crusade wasn't very good. It was better than Legend of the Rangers, which was the other pilot for another Babylon 5 spinoff that didn't make it. What did I like about Crusade? I like the fact that the captain had this box, and the box would give him advice, but the advice would either be good or bad, and you wouldn't be able to tell what. Like, go to that planet. You can find a cure for the disease there, because the human race got infected by a virus by the surviving allies of the Shadows, because they went after the human race because they defeated the Shadows in the Shadow War.
Right.
It was revenge. Sally Field in James Garner in Romance.
Murphy's Romance.
Yes. This is the French poster or the Spanish poster. Sorry.
I saw this movie because I liked Sally Field. My mom liked James Garner. I don't remember it very well, but I didn't dislike it.
Okay. Ran, probably the best film of 1986. Kurosawa's take on King Lear. Now I know what I've heard of it. I need to watch Ran. I need to watch more Kurosawa in general. This is fitting for today.
Yeah.
Revolution with Pacino in like Revolutionary War era, right?
Yep, but I did not see it.
Okay. Who's he playing? John Adams? I don't know. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
We'll be playing right after this.
Well, no, we're not.
What's that say? The Trip to Bountiful?
Yep.
You know what? It's Maggie
Rebecca
Smith.
De Mornay was in it. I know I saw it. Again, I don't remember it at all.
It looks like a movie Maggie Smith should have also been in, but I could be wrong. Okay, moving on. Okay, we don't remember. All right. It looked British. That's why I put it on here. All right.
Oh, okay.
And this is the last movie, Making Contact.
I have never heard of this movie. I didn't know it at all.
All right, I'm gonna find out. Let me look up the article for it real quick, because this might be the movie you haven't seen on here that you now have to see.
Wait a minute,
Joey. Okay.
Cleary. Take care,
Night,
Connie. Have a good night.
Okay, known as Making Contact in the United States, but known as Joey everywhere else. It was West German techno horror fantasy from Centropolis Film Productions, but the reason I bring it up here because it was co-written and directed by Roland Emmerich.
Okay.
You know Roland Emmerich. He did a lot of the disaster movies like Day After Tomorrow, Independence Day, White House. He also directed The Patriot with Mel Gibson. Another 4th of July thing. See,
that's probably my least favorite Mel Gibson film.
Okay, anyway, so this is the plot from Wikipedia, okay? A 9-year-old boy named Joey Collins loses his father but makes contact with what he believes is his deceased parent via a small phone and is terrorized by a possessed ventriloquist dummy named Fletcher. The doll summons demons and evil forces to threaten Joey's friends, mother, and enemies. Joey must go into the spirit world to destroy the evil doll in a battle of good versus evil. The boy develops the power of telekinesis, which soon gets out of hand.
I mean, okay, it does sound like a good movie. I mean, it sounds like a good premise. I don't know what to make of that.
Well, you need to watch this, man.
I might have to.
This needs to go on your poll for Monday. I'm kidding. I don't know if this is.
I'm not that eager to see it.
I've never heard of this, but I think when it says German, I think it's a German production, but it was made in English. I think. I'm assuming. Who stars in this? Joshua Morrow. Maybe it is in German. I don't know, but it's Roland Emmerich, right? West Germany. Oh, the language is German, but it's shot in English. That doesn't make any sense. It's shot in English, but the language is German.
So it's probably one of those badly dubbed movies.
No, it says shot in English. Oh, did they shoot it in English and then dub it into German? Okay, Joey, let me do the release. I have to find out more about this. Hold on. Joey was released in North America as Making Contact. North American version was heavily cut and ran 79 minutes. Despite mainly negative reviews, the film was able to recoup its budget in Germany alone and generated further profits from foreign sales.
Making Contact, you can see Making Contact on Tubi for free.
Yeah, but it's the edited version. You want Joey.
I'm sure it is the edited version. It is 1 hour 20 minutes.
Ooh. Making Contact was riffed for the 2022 Mystery Science Theater 2000 Lifetime Bubble Tour. Oh, they actually
there you go.
Critical reception in Germany was predominantly negative, with critics dubbing Roland Emmerich's Spielbergy, meaning Little Spielberg, due to Emmerich's use of Spielbergian tropes popularized by American blockbusters. So this must have really just been a German film. But I'm wondering if they spoke English on the set for the scenes. So Apparently, Kino Lorber has announced a Blu-ray with new high-definition transfer, newly produced special features. So I will have to wait for the Kino Lorber version to come out. Okay, well, I guess I ended on a fart in the wind. Okay, let's move on to. I think that's it. That's the end.
That's it. That's the last
It's
one.
it for 1985, huh?
Oh gosh, we're through it. We're done. Yeah, there were some good movies.
Next week we'll be doing 86. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We'll do this again sometime though, but we need a break. But
absolutely,
we'll figure out what we're doing next week.
I appreciate everybody who came and hung out with us. We went a little bit long today. I'm guessing that you have the day off tomorrow.
I do. That's why I didn't fight.
Yeah,
you. Okay.
That's why you go.
That's why I can talk about Joey for another hour. Okay.
There you go. So want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us. I saw a lot of new names in here tonight. I hope you enjoyed it enough to maybe give us a subscribe and come back again. We do, not this specifically, but we do have a stream every Friday night. Last call, different topic all the time. It's not always about movies. I do have an afternoon show called Liquid Lunch every weekday at noon Central, 11 Eastern. Again, different topic all the time. You saw all the other things we've got coming up this week during the promos, and that is it. Guys, is there anything that I'm missing before I wrap up that you really, really got to get out there?
A couple of the new people that came in, I dropped things in the chat. I'd love for you to be on Thursday things. Drop me a DM on Twitter. Let's get you scheduled. Oh, and don't forget, tomorrow night, Dr. Detroit.
Dr. Woot Woot Detroit.
I like the theme song for that movie. Did Devo do the theme song for that?
Probably.
It sounds like a Devo song for they didn't. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so Dr. Detroit tomorrow night, and then Sunday, as I recall.
Well, we've got a whole lot of geeky geezers going. We got a lot of people that passed away that we got to give a little bit of honor to. We got a lot of news coming out.
Gaming news. Unfortunately, there was a bloodbath over at Xbox this week. I actually do feel really bad for all the people let go. And we will talk about that on Sunday, as well as hopefully some movie stuff as well. Yes. But... and don't forget, I know that there is going to be a karaoke rumble thing at some point, unless it's already happened. But, yeah.
Mark Daly says tomorrow I'll be driving through Detroit. So if you just happen to be driving through Detroit tomorrow night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, you could be driving through Detroit while watching Dr. Detroit.
There you go. Then Sunday evening, is there reserved seats going on that we know of, or...
I don't know.
We'll find out more, see if the Leasings has anything lined up. Monday, you will be doing your Monday Night at the Movies, right?
Yep, I will get the poll up. I can't promise to get it up tonight, but I'll get it up by tomorrow afternoon. It'll be an 80s movie. I will definitely be having... I'm going to carry over Tough Turf from last week, and I will get a couple other films that we talked about tonight. And members... tell me which movie we are going to watch on Monday. Monday is Members Night at the Movies. If you have enjoyed what I've done here and want to become a member to support this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Members get to choose what movie we watch on Monday on our exclusive members-only stream, where I play the movie off-platform and we all watch it together. So, there you go.
I'm sorry.
I can't get it up tonight. Phrasing.
Oh, yeah. That's not what he meant. But yes. Anyway, Tuesday, we're going to have on Sparkwood 21, we're going to be talking about doing a deep dive into Lost Highway.
So
we'll do some digging on that.
A little preview on that one. I said that I didn't know this movie as well as Mulholland Drive, and I did a really, really deep dive on Mulholland Drive. Now, after having rewatched the movie and finding an interview with David Lynch, where he talks about Lost Highway, I got it, man. I got it. I can explain it to you.
Okay. Well, I want to get my thoughts first because I'm probably gonna be wrong.
Oh yeah. I definitely want to go last. Because I want to hear from deleted scenes as well. So we definitely will. And that is Tuesday. Yep.
Nothing on Wednesday, right?
Nothing on Wednesday. Thursday we come around to Netters Network, and that is the Week in Review, my friends.
And also during the week, check out Liquid Lunch with Troy Pacelli every
Thank you so
day
much.
at 12 Central, 1 Eastern, right? And you have various topics that you discuss.
Absolutely.
I'm just excited that I discovered that they put back the pinning and unpinning conversations back on X.
Oh, well, there you go. That's nice to hear. So there we go.
Right.
That is our last call. So last call for alcohol. We are wrapping up. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Happy 4th of July.
Take care, everyone. Have a great one, and I'm hoping to see you on the next one. Salute.
Bye-bye.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, for me and you. Let's toast to the